Raring to go! Sunday service here on Racing Post Live, along the way with Betfair showing you 6 races coming fast and thick from Newmarket. Of course, we had a wonderful 2,000 guineas yesterday, didn't we? What fun we had. Threw some winners along the way, of course, for charity. We need a new charity today. It is the 1st of May. Pinch punch and all that sort of thing. Let's find you some winners. Myself, Dave Orton, thrilled to be back in the seat. 3:40, the fillies' time to shine. Who wins it? Let's hear from you. If you're new, this is an interactive show. Do, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. That means you can open up the chat. The boys in the gallery today, Dave and Will, they will be pumping them all the way through to me on this and in my ear saying, come on, let's hear it, Dave. We want the 1, 2, 3 in the 1,000 guineas. Simple stuff, eh? And of course, we will be showcasing the functionality of the exchange as well. Right, who's with me on Sunday? He's back. Keeping it brief. James Millman. Busy weekend?
Busy. Yeah, great to be here.
Did you have Qipco?
I did, actually. I favoured him over Native Trail. I think we were at Lincoln Day. I'm sure I announced that on the open forum. But yeah, it was a cracking 2,000. There was a lot of strength and depth. I think the 4th, 5th and 6th in normal years would have been placed. I think we've got 3 very good horses at the head of the 3-year-old field.
That's the general feeling, isn't it? I think it was a feel-good Guineas.
They were saying the paddock looked like a strong Guineas.
Right.
And nothing disappointed. They really, you couldn't look it back and say, oh, XYZ ran poorly. I think they all ran at the form, and I think they're all nice horses.
The sun was shining. It was a great day. The crowd were fantastic, apparently. They cheered home Qipco, of course. Luxembourg was in there as well. Native Trail only second, Graeme, Rodway.
Yeah, he ran actually very well, didn't he?
Do you think if you'd have been able to make the course, because we won't go into it too much now, but you had an interrupted passage and you had to turn back?
Yeah, I did set out to go to Newmarket yesterday. I was a little bit late. Wilder's kept me out late the night before.
Well, we had him on this panel yesterday, buffoon of a man.
Yeah, he had me out late, and I was a little bit late getting out. And then now it's the town festival in my local parish.
You are Chelmsford Way. It's just for anyone that wants to go and stalk, or perhaps with a pitchfork. Pitchfork, I think. Man, we've got to get through the show, James.
So yeah, being the town festival, obviously people were coming into the town. I was trying to get out of the town, and then I couldn't get out of the town. It was bad traffic coming out, and then there was bad traffic near Newmarket, so I had to turn back. I couldn't make it.
And perhaps if you'd have been there, the beast might have gone home in front. But look, we'll be picking the bones out of exactly what we think it might mean for the 3-year-old and mile division going forward. I don't know. There's been a lot of negativity about racing in recent weeks. Wherever you look, I thought it was a real feel-good day yesterday. Did you, Marc Hryhorskyj? You had a blinder.
Yeah, we had a few close calls initially, but we got Cape Francis home 40-1, returning about 22's BSP. But yeah, it's good to be back. Got Salisbury, Hamilton and Newmarket today. Obviously the 1,000 guineas being the highlight. Again, nice winner, some huge prices. Had a few messages on social media about it. I think a lot of people got on, so happy days on that front. But yeah, got some selections again. Confident we can have another profitable day. So looking forward to it.
Marc Hryhorskyj, the pilot, with us for Betfair then along the way. We need to find a new charity, guys. It's the merry month of May. Retraining of racehorses. That was a tricky one. I'm just about managed it. ROR.
You can't get it wrong there.
There are people that don't know what that is, James, so you've got to give it a large. If anyone wants to open the floor for a horse racing charity out there, a horse charity, equine of any sort, let us know, because Marc will be trying to bolster what Barry had done so successfully during April. What a month we had. It just gets better now, doesn't it? Chester in the week, Lingfield trials next weekend. We've got French Guineas, haven't we? We've got the Dante meeting.
Dante meeting.
Did you call it the Dante meeting?
Dante.
You're probably covering it, I would imagine, for a certain channel. Aren't you?
No,
you need to brush up on
I will be at the lower class.
Will you? Oh, you'll be okay. Yeah, right. I can't. Well, all right. I can't think where they are right now. But listen, your stock is going up. I've always said this. You came on this show, and the shine has gone your way. It's sitting next to the bear, isn't it?
It's rising up, but yeah, maybe osmosis.
There's definitely that going on.
Definitely.
Are we strong on anything today?
Tenebrism, I think. To be honest, I've been strong on her all winter since we saw her win so impressively in the Chile Park, where she absolutely flew down that stand side rail. We've not seen her again. We've seen her twice. For me, in Spiral, when she was in the race, I thought she was a little bit vulnerable.
She's now out, of course, along with Mise en Scene, unfortunately, doesn't go.
So for me, it's opened up, and I felt, unlike the Colts, the fillies lacks a little bit of strength and depth. So for me, I think the Baidora Maestro gets back on track after only having a third yesterday.
We're going to ask you for a horse to follow through the year as well. We did that successfully yesterday. People love to hear that out there. We'll remind you what the panel, Matty Batch, of course, put a random one up for John Gosling. I say random because it's not yet a group horse, whereas some people are already looking towards the Gold Cups like me and all that sort of stuff. We'll remind you of that. Graeme, we might as well get this out of the way. You think that Aidan is once again going to get a 1,000 guineas under his belt?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Well, I thought that Tenebrism was just about a similar likelihood of winning as Native Trail was. Now Native
once
Trail didn't
bitten,
win.
obviously
didn't
not
win.
twice shy with you.
But he went close to winning.
I think he
And
didn't disappoint.
Native Trail, he didn't disappoint, and he was a
Yeah.
lot shorter than Tenebrism, wasn't he? You know, but when I was looking at the race the other day, I was thinking, oh, Tenebrism's probably about as likely to win as Native Trail. Native Trail's 5-4. Tenebrism is 3-1-ish. I was thinking, well, that's got to be a better 3-1. I would have a sub 2-1 Tenebrism.
We pop to Hamilton. We pop also to Salisbury, of course. Really good card at Salisbury, at the Cathedral and all that sort of stuff. My nap goes in the 205 at Hamilton as well. That will cut hot after our first race at 150. There's the market. If you're new to the show, this is what you see. The Exchange. This is where the bookmakers, of course, on track do all their trading as well. You see all the end running. That's what we're going to try and do for you, basically. Pinpoint through the races who's looking like it's a big price, who's going to soon go under that, 105 gaze or whatever it is. We've seen a couple gubbed this season already, haven't we? Let's hope for none of that. It was a dramatic race yesterday, Marc. You got us absolutely in clover for the charity. We will pinpoint that today. But who is going to be the lucky recipient winning the first race? It's a mile 6 at Newmarket at 150.
Yeah, we'll do the lucky 15 first, James. If you want to do the honours.
It's G-Rod actually. G-Rod has got the honours.
Pass the baton on, Millman. Right, let's go.
Right, okay. So place these on the sports book. First race 150. We'll take Red Verdon.
Right, you'll have to bear with me because this is playing up today. Red
No, hang on.
16-1.
We had Wilders doing this yesterday, guys, and he was a newbie. He's supposed to be a professional. He was sluggish.
I'm trying my best. A bad workman blames his tools, as they say.
We'll take 205 Hamilton. We'll take King's Advice of Marc Johnson.
King's Advice.
Steve had a shocker there, Marc.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that'll win, but good luck with that.
Well, he does knock these out of the park, unfortunately.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
I hope he don't knock this one out of the park.
225 Newmarket. We'll take Mashir.
Okay, 1 second. Today, 225 at Newmarket.
You've improved for the run on the first one, haven't you? You're speeding up a bit.
Oh God, we're going to some big ones here, aren't we?
He sees the dream is alive at the moment, isn't it?
340 Newmarket. We'll take Juncture for Gerald Lyons in the big one.
God, if this wins, Marc, then you're going to be retiring, mate.
Probably get the sack on Monday.
That's what we want.
Right, let's have a look.
Pound each way.
Pound
please.
each way lucky on the Red Verdon 16s, King's Advice at 20s, Mashir at 33s, and Juncture at 11s.
Drum roll, please.
That is going to pay a ridiculous £181,521, 16p.
I love the delivery there, G, as well. You're stoked for today, are you?
I'm up for today. It sounds a bit like Children in Need then. You know when they announce the how much they've raised?
Who's the Pudsey Bear, isn't it? It's what we need, the G-Rod Bear for the
Drum roll,
Lucky
drum
15.
roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how much are we up to now? Yeah, absolutely. We could do that, couldn't we? Marc, okay, so hit the crossbar a little bit yesterday, didn't we? Really, you did, actually. You were a 33-1 second in the first. Snash! You remember, in the Hryhorskyj Cup, one to take out of that. And then third time lucky, wasn't it? Cap Francais. Still don't really know how that won. And that was a precursor, a nice confidence boost for the Doiler, taking it out on Caribus.
Yeah, I thought we were quite unlucky with above. Unfortunately, never had that one in the lucky. Snash, he went off about 65s on the Betfair Exchange. Came on the outside and just had the door shut by the eventual winner. Definitely won for the notebook. Don't think he'll be a 65 chance next time out, but looking at the 150 in Newmarket, we'll go with Red Verdon here. We'll bet this in the win and additional place market. We'll have a score on at 18.5 G, and we'll have £30 on the 4 place market, around 9 to 4.
£30 on 4 places and around 9 to 4 on Red Verdon. This thing ran the other day, didn't he?
Friday.
Yeah, I think he's got a chance. I mean, he ran over an adequate trip, mile 4, and ran behind Marc Johnson's Smart Living Legend, and obviously that proved that all-weather win was no fluke. Stepped up to mile 6. Ground no issue, 26% strike rate for the stable, £7 claim. I mean, I think he could be really dangerous off 97 here. It's definitely the class angle in the race.
He wants the trip, probably, Marc, as well, doesn't it? Mile 6 then, so stamina at a premium. We're with you to just after the 1,000 guineas here this afternoon. Get involved. Let us know you're out there. Let's hear from you. The social corner will be opening up. We'll be giving you free premium content, of course, here at the Racing Post. Spotlights always have a good day. In your members club, we'll be telling you to watch the replays and all that sort of stuff. OK, and I believe we're going to open up the social corner as well. Who is it? Frizzy Red, who I've had a little bit of a chat with already in our wonderful community out there. This revolver is interesting. He could be well in after this long break. Still with Sir Marc Prescott, who had a ridiculously well handicapped horse win. Was it yesterday?
Sea Moon or something like that.
Something like that, wasn't it?
Bolted up at Doncaster.
Yeah.
It caught the eye last year, and that is the one that's going to be getting.
I see the stars progressive
the
sort.
revolver.
So Marc has hit the ground
ago.
running, is what I wanted to say, Frizzy. You've obviously seen this as well. Revolver last time. When did it run? I haven't seen it for ages, have we?
He got a leg in the Doncaster Cup.
Yes, another class angle in there. So very interesting indeed. Look, it's Sunday. We've got a classy little panel for you. We've got a classy day's action. This is your alternative view here. Raucous reaction, the best anti-post analysis in the business. Talking of anti-post, Marc Hryhorskyj, what price? Because you said 130 straight after Luxembourg. Somewhat of an unlucky third in a classic trial for the Derby. What price now on the sportsbook for the first weekend at Epsom?
Yeah, I'll need to load that one up. If you just give me a second. Just give me 2 seconds. I'll get that one up. You all right?
Marc, come on, you need to be
Marc,
quicker than
He's
G-Rod
9 to
here.
2 best price available at the moment. He's 9 to 4 in place. He's 2 to 1. We're 5 to 2 at the moment.
Yeah, that was quickly snapped up, wasn't it? A word about that?
The only worry, and a few people have said it,
yes,
is
I know.
the
You love a bit of
undulations.
Twitter, don't you? Love a bit of racing Twitter.
Bit of negativity. Against that, early stage of the race, I thought he was going to be tailed off, to be honest, because he was scrubbing along. Didn't
Well, he
look
missed the
particularly
kick.
happy. Missed it slightly because he's not a proper quick.
We were
7-furlong miler.
pinned here, James, and I went, please don't say it's Luxembourg. That was 2 I had yesterday. It fell out the boxes.
A, he fell out the boxes, but then B, he clipped heels straight afterwards because he was half a stride behind him. And Ryan was off a bridle. The way he stayed on strongly is a positive, but at Epsom, you still need speed out the gates to get a good position. You need to handle the undulations. I'd personally wait and see until we get the trials out of the way and see what's coming through. I think he's going to be leading by a Doyle contender, but that kind of price, unless nothing really stands out in the trial, I can't see him being shorter than that in the week once we've known what's going to be the leading Epsom contenders.
Often the voice of reason, and I think I'll have to echo that there, James. However, Graeme, if the trials look to be, if the Dante doesn't come up to scratch, and a couple of the others that we have, Lingfield next week, of course. Don't forget Addy, I was beaten in that last year and went and defied the one poke at Derby. All the trends on their head. It could still be that 5 to 2 fairly attractive come Epsom time.
Yeah, you ran. You can make your own decision on whether I like to blow my own trumpet or not.
Let's not go down that road again.
I did write a piece on Friday.
Oh, I missed it.
For the
Enlighten
Racing
me.
Post.
You didn't miss one of the G-Rod's
Look,
A+ pieces
busy
of work.
man putting these shows together, James.
And I'm sure you were here when Barry was on last time.
Yeah,
Barry's not here to defend himself.
And now I'm sure that I did say in both my piece and to Barry that Luxembourg would finish second, third or fourth, running a very nice Derby trial in the 2,000 guineas. And Barry, if I remember rightly, said, well, what price are you going to give me for the Triple Crown, G-Rod? He's going to win the Triple Crown.
There's an ROR charity bet out there, isn't there, in the ether that you've had? And it's fair to say that the Betfair now need to write a check, don't they, I think?
It's
because
finished,
Barry put it up for the Triple Crown.
He did. He thought it was going to
I
win.
thought it was going to win all three.
All three.
You offered him 10s. I believe they went 16 straight afterwards. He was a bit unlucky,
And I
wasn't
said, no chance, Barry. He's definitely a Derby horse. He'll run like a Derby horse in the Guineas. And is that not what he did?
I think
he? It's in print, apparently. So
substandard Guineas, he would have, like Camelot's Guineas, which
yes,
wasn't
the no
a strong
start.
renewal.
We did say that pre-race yesterday, by the way, on this panel.
He was beat by 2 very good horses,
Yeah.
but you are proved right.
Now,
Thank
look,
you. Have you read that piece as well?
I must admit, I didn't.
Well,
you called me out for not reading
hold
it
on
as
a
well.
second. But you just regurgitated exactly what I said.
Oh, clearly,
It was supposed to be a temporary column on Friday, wasn't it? But it's going to keep rolling. Such as a success.
Yeah, well, it started off as a Cheltenham column, and it was so successful that it's just.
I'll have to speak to Jimmy Pugh, of course, who's our audience manager. He looks at how many clicks we get on the website and stuff. Jimmy, let me know about that one. But look, we're teasing you, G. If you want to look back at things, I got the trifecta right yesterday.
Did you?
For the
It wasn't
2,000
hardest
guineas.
trifecta in the world, though, was it?
Trumpet. Yeah, but hey, if people like you would have come in and tried to be clever and thrown thrown in a perfect power or something. But is it in print or is it on camera?
It's not. It's not
No,
there.
it's
but
not.
It's not there.
Mine is. You could watch better show yesterday, I think. But no, look, I didn't get in the right order. I actually went Luxembourg, Caribus, and
Well,
Native
you went
Trail.
for Luxembourg as well. What'd you do that for?
Well, what do you mean? I just thought I thought he was the price in the race. So, and I knew he would hit the line hard. So come on.
Don't worry, Dave. I put it in a reverse TriCast and we actually copped it at 11-2, so we're all good for charity.
There you go.
There we go. See, and there is the tenuous link. I want to hear your 1, 2, 3. I can see them for the 340, the 1,000 guineas. Let's ramp it up again. Let's have your horses to follow as well. The flat season starts now, right? Proper.
Can I just pick James up on one thing that he said? He called Aidan O'Brien the Ballydoyle Maestro.
Yep.
Now, on this show, we don't call any trainers
Oh,
maestro.
here we go. Oh, you're dragging up.
If we're going to start calling trainers maestros, I would like to be called the Racing Post Maestro from now on, please.
Listen, James.
Are you
James, I'm with you. I'm playing the violin. He's a maestro. He is. Of course he is. Charlie Appleby is now his peer.
Can I be known as the master of Rodway House from now on?
Are you though? Surely Mrs. Rodway will be the master of said house now.
I do like it. Do you go onto RTV and say the maestros and
Who's
all
the
that sort of
master of
stuff?
Culuntra House? Isn't that Gordon Elliott?
That is Gordon.
The
that is
master
Gordon
of
Elliott.
Culuntra House.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who's the master
of Close Sutton, of course.
Close
Willie Mullen. What
Sutton
a
is
wicket
Willie
Mike
Mullen.
would he
So
have?
I would be like to be known as the master of Rodway House, please.
My
from now
Lord.
on.
I think Sabrina, your wife, might have
Yes,
something to say
there we
about
go.
that. Look at that. Graeme
Excellent.
Rodway, the master of Rodway House. Just when you thought it was going to be a nice, simple Sunday out there. I think we've got some more socials up there as well. Bringing it back for the first race. Marc's selection, look there. Redford, and you saw it Cap Francais. He knows how to get these big prizes in. Matty Phoenix joins the show. Matty, welcome. Dark Jedi should have a serious chance. Take it away, G.
Yes,
Rod.
Matty, this is the nap of the day, Dark Jedi. This is an absolute massive eye catcher last time out when finishing second behind Enemy at Musselburgh. Now, Enemy should have won the Cigaro Stakes the other day.
Yeah.
He travelled like the best horse in the
Don't
race.
shake your head.
He got no run through.
You must have been. I thought the one thing you were going to do when you walked into our office today was go, "Oh, the Cigaro! What an absolute travesty that was." The stewards bottled it. You were with the stewards for once.
I do like the mayor, to be fair.
You should have done. You should have done
Plenty of time
a
to get-
Stevie Drown.
Yeah,
You're
time to get-
wasted in this world. You should have gone and joined the BHA, and you should be on the stewarding panel. You thought they were right for once.
It was a tight one. That's probably more heart roll in the head, to be fair.
You did a G-Rod. You're going against the crowd.
You know, I should have got. What days did he get? How many days did he get in the end?
Good question. Sheridan, wasn't it? I can't
yeah,
remember.
and he keeps getting days and that
Does he?
there as well.
Oh, well, you would know that.
But it was a tight one. He ran form boost though. He ran an absolute cracker.
Yeah, and still a very nice horse going forward, isn't it? Ian Williams, of course, who trained Cap Francais, another ding for Marc.
You know what the handicapper
Absolute
did?
master.
You know what the handicapper did after he finished second to Enemy?
You've been handicapping these, haven't you? So of
Yeah.
course you're going to bore us with
Well,
this.
the
but
handicapper actually dropped Dark Jedi £1 for that run.
That's
No, he didn't. No, he
ridiculous,
didn't.
isn't it?
No.
Did he not? Have I got that right? I thought he dropped him. Did he not drop him £1?
I think this was an early closing race.
Oh, here we go.
So-
I knew he'd pick me up.
Lovely. Already a bit of jousting
Unfortunately,
going
G-Rod,
on.
The handicapper
I knew it.
put him up £2. But £4
He's able to run.
He's able to run off his
Yeah.
mark that he's
So he
originally
is
dropped
£2
him.
well in, isn't he? Along with
Yeah.
Semhan, who I'm surprised none of us are going for this. But Dark Jedi is now just a little bit of smoke for you. When we did the Bet365 Gold Cup Day here on the show, what a great panel that was. You came in and said you'd be insufferable. You were on the hottest streak ever. You had the Tanter match, which is fading slightly, by the way. But you also got your first bet of the day then off. That went in.
Yeah, that was Napper's Hill, wasn't it?
Are you trying to, because you do like usually finishing strongly, don't
I do
you?
usually like finishing strongly, but as you've already said, I am the master of Racing Post handicapping in the Stayers
The
division.
maestro.
I am the Racing Post maestro handicapper.
Yeah.
So and I do the staying races, and it just happens so that the first race is a staying race, and I really think that the best bet in the staying races today is Dark Jedi, and I think this will win.
All right, okay, Nap, and with you as well, Matty. So let's get it out of the way, because what are you with?
I'm with Holly Doyle, George Baker, Samman, who's also £2 well in.
Absolutely hosed up at Salisbury.
He did indeed. Only got a £5 penalty. Handicapper went up 7. RPR went up 10. 92 was the Rodway's rating. I just think he's progressive. George Baker's in pretty good form as well.
Yeah.
The Lamplighter, a little bit unlucky to be switched at a vital stage at Goodwood on Friday.
Holly on.
Lightweight, sneaking into this Heritage Handicap, £100 contest. I just think he's still unexposed and likely to improve. The other one, Valley Forge, not that strong in the market and did disappoint the last time we saw. the Dancily, Geldon. So out of those two, I'm going to go to one that's race fit, and Semam's the one for me.
It's a pretty good
Very
race,
strong in
this,
the
isn't
market,
it?
James. He's in 4.7, clear favourite. Valley Forge very weak. That one was matched around 5-2 this morning, out to nearly 6-1 on the Betfair Exchange.
I'm groaning,
Dark
Marc, because I'm on Valley Forge. I like Valley
Dark
Forge.
Jedi, very strong in the market. It was about 10s into around 7s now. Revolver, they can't give that one away. Some late money for Sophie Stevens and Mark Johnson's, who actually ran in the same race as Dark Jedi, but just sort of fell away at the furlong pole. I think that could be good form here. So I'm expecting a big run from Dark Jedi. Hopefully Red Verdon can get the job done though.
Well, of course, I'm hoping Valley Forge can do it. There you go, the Melrose winner of last year at the Ebor Festival. I think the Haydock was a funny run. We covered that on this show when it was third afterwards, and forget the run behind Scope, my horse to follow, by the way, for 2022 Scope. Gelded since, lightly raced, could just be better than these off a mark of 90. It's Balding and Probert. I'm hoping for a solid run, and I think with the places out there, there might be a bit of value. Lots of us, judge-wise, are going for Soapy Stevens, it seems, at the Racing Post. Both Tom Siegel and Sunday Sizzler, Paul Keeley, putting this one up as well. Bit of an eye-catcher, seemingly.
Wilders wanted to tip that the other day because, last year it was Melrose and I who was handicapping the handicap.
He's now doing it, is he?
It's now Wilders and I.
He's your deputy.
Yeah.
Do you have any control over him?
Wilders is now like the deputy maestro handicapper.
You're actually his line manager maestro, aren't you?
Yeah. So he actually wanted to tip Soapy Stevens, but I pulled rank.
He spoke very well of you yesterday as a line manager, by the way. I've
Did
got
he?
to say. Yeah, he said you're a very laid-back, cool guy to be working under. I was
Excellent.
like, it's been 2 months. So I was like, give it a little while. Sarumi is in there as well, Marc. That looks like it's being backed. Just put ambling into the stalls very slowly. Did you see the first race at Newmarket, people out there? It was a 2-year-old race. And once again, an Ammo Racing, Hannon Colt, blew them away.
Absolutely bolted, didn't it? He's returned quite a big price, about 6.4 as well for Ross Orion, but it was impressive, Miami Girl. But just going back to the race to the 150, Dark Jedi shorting up even more now. This one could potentially go off around 6-1. Sarumi's strong as well for Ross Orion, again 6.4. But Simmons definitely going to go favourite, 4.5 here, 7-2 for Holly Doyle and George Baker.
Thanks then, Marc.
Just for your in running, he was a little bit keen with Holly going down, Sam, so keep an eye on how well he settles, because that might just be a key angle over a mile 6, because that's why they're delayed, because Holly had taken down very steadily, and it might just be, if there's not much pace on, there is only the 9 runners, that he could be a bit keen early doors. That would be the only negative.
Started off life with John Gosden, didn't he? Seman.
The
George
master
Baker's
of Clearhaven Stables.
the master of.
Your family member.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We can speak about the family link a little bit later on. George Baker, would be lovely to see him have a big TV winner, one of the good guys in the training ranks out there, that's for sure. Right, OK, they're in. Good luck wherever you're playing on the 150. Will it be Holly coming home in the first? Out we go then. My Valley Forge a little bit slowly into stride, but he is a horse that can take a bit of settling. I'm not so bad at the moment, because I knew Golden Flame would be bang up there, and also Soapy Stevens as well, and they're ploughing lone furrows at the moment. Soapy coming down right away from the others. Interesting ploy this, isn't it? William Buick, of course, on Golden Flame. Progressive stayer last year. Got some all-weather form as well.
Favourite's very keen. James bang on the money here. It's out to 9-2 and running straight away here.
Yeah, just doing a little
That's
bit
a big
more
price,
than you'd like him to be. To be honest,
Lots of cover it got
I'd
at
be
Salisbury.
waiting.
Did you watch that back, G-Rod? That Salisbury run? Loads of cover.
Yeah, I didn't actually handicap that race. It was over a mile and a half. And, it's,
you're only literally a mile 5 plus?
Yeah, only a mile 5
okay.
plus.
That's
So it didn't come
literally
into my
sprinting for you,
category,
isn't it?
yeah.
A mile and a half.
They can't give Valley Forge away here. It's 11-1 and running already. They're being slowly away.
I think that's a bit of an overreaction. We'll be going there yet. Hiroshima hoping to explode onto the scene.
Dark Jedi's a bit keen as well.
I've been waiting to say that. Sarumi a bit keen. Favourite Sarumi, wasn't it, to beat Dark Jedi, who's just off it last time out. And, of course, Soapy Stevens as well. Where's Revolver then? Again, looks like he might just be
sweaty,
needing this.
isn't he?
for his
Yeah,
Yeah,
health.
Marc said he didn't go 2 mile at Ascot because he felt he'd be too fresh first time back, and looking at the way
he's a
he
little
is
bit
there, it
sweaty,
might
isn't
just
he? And
be
this might be a bit
sensible
more of a
move.
project this season. And Red Verdon out the back, Marc. How are you feeling? Last to first, you'll need to be.
I think I need more of a stamina test here for Red Vernon. I think William Buick's slowing it down. I think you want to be on the front end here.
I think you're
Soapy
right,
Stevens,
Marc, yeah.
pilots.
All right, okay, I'm just looking.
They're not going very fast, I don't think. This my Mark Johnson horse is getting an easy lead, which is always a worry.
Well, the other Mark Johnson horse is not chasing up, or the other Charlie and Mark Johnson.
They're very
horse,
aware,
Sophie
but
Stevens.
I don't know. Semon's still pulling a little bit extra 2 furlongs today.
He is, but he's travelling in his hands. I like Ross Orion, to be honest, if I was in running.
He's going well,
punting.
Who doesn't like Ross Orion?
6.2 at the moment. I think he's
I don't like
as
Mark
good a value as what he was pre-race.
Valley Forge coming back in. Not surprised to see that. He's actually settled really well as well. But again, right out of it. Look at Semon. His head's going right up and down,
I'm going
isn't
to
it?
need a helicopter from there, Dave.
The run of the race has been Hiroshima so far, hasn't it? Ray Dawson on the inside, John
Well,
Wright.
this Semhan surely can't win. It's far too keen.
You think so?
Yeah.
Definitely.
What about the nap?
That's it. Get through that little gap there.
You're just
Get
hoping
through
there,
that little
aren't
gap.
you?
Oh, I need the helicopter.
Duran Fentiman
I'm in
on
trouble.
Dark
I'm
Jedi,
in
so he's screaming. Right, we're getting a bit more serious now then.
I'm
Mark,
going
we've got
well
about
here.
4 furlongs to run, 3 furlongs to run, in fact.
Come on, get through that gap.
Come on, Valley Forge on the outside. Red Verdant, he's well outpaced,
He's in a
Mark, isn't he?
mess.
3
Yeah,
furlongs
he's
to
coming
go
up
then.
the inside.
Valley Forge on the outside, catching my eye all the time. Still the Johnson pair, the ones to catch.
Holly's
Now Holly
kicking.
Doyle says, see you later on Semon. Goes the length clear. Sarumi can't really I think Valley Forge, probably the danger. Revolver running a real big race. Whatever
on,
he
Holly.
does from today, he'll be one to note. But at the moment, it looks like
No
Holly's going to take out the
way.
first. And it just changes his legs all over the place into the dip. Hanging a little bit. Will the keenness catch? Look at the Revolver. Absolutely charging home. But it's going to be all too late. The queen of the flat, Holly Doyle, she does it again. Penalty, Fav wins the first, Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, she's done it well considering Holly Doyle how keen this one was in the run. Only went as big as 9.2 for £3 in running. I thought that one might have traded a bit bigger. But Revolver, very, very weak. BSP around 11 to 1. That one's went as short as 3.65, just around the 11 to 4 mark for £22. I think Red Vernon just needed more of a stamina test, got outpaced and ran on. Probably maybe get dropped a few pounds for that as well. I didn't think they had the race to suit. Sophie Stevens for Franny Norton, I think that one had every chance as well, went as low as 4.2. It was quite, I think Golden Flame, it looked quite a tame effort, had it all his own way up front and just sort of fell away. And was expecting a little bit more from that one. That one's traded at 11 to 4 for £32 as well. But the money was right on Seman, returned 4.8 BSP. As I say, Gamble landed, and especially how keen that was, you probably give it more merit as well. That performance, done it well.
It was already £2 well in, James Millman.
Yeah, no, nice to get a good start. And Holly as a rider, actually, it reminded me of Trushan when she rides him over the staying distances. Because sometimes, especially Goodwood Cup last year, he looked like he was doing way too much, and yet he still found. So sometimes I think you can be a little bit deceived by Holly's style. Because in the end, he's actually, when she said go free out, he's picked up and he's hit the line strong. A lot of the horses were inconvenienced by the relatively steady pace. So you're disappointed, like Mark said, by our front runner, Golden Flame, because he has stopped pretty quickly. Revolver, he is the one to take out the race. He's got a mark.
Unquestionably.
98, I think Sir Marc, Northumberland Plate, races like that, because he's still well enough handicapped for these big handicaps. Ebor.
He's run a belter, actually. We're just watching about the final furlong now.
He wants 2 mile ideally as well.
Yes, he does.
Just a lovely return. As long as he comes back sound after that, having missed the track for nearly 2 years, that's a lovely return for Marc.
And there must have been a temptation with the layoff as well to offer him up to the jumping boys, you'd think as well, because he's
If
right
you've already
on.
got a leg on the flat, I wouldn't be too keen to buy it as a jump horse, because unfortunately, taking off doing the schooling and the hurling every day, you're just
That's when you're
increasing the
gonna feel
load
it going
bearing.
down.
Because obviously he broke down just race on the level. But normally he would have been, I expect he would have been sold at the end of his freehold career for quite good money.
Sometimes they do. I mean, we don't know these days, do we, with the way the modern market is. But there you go. That's why we've got a horseman in on the panel. I wouldn't be totally giving up on Valley Forge either. He was weak, wasn't he,
Weak in the market for the first
He
run back.
travelled into it quite nicely, 2 furlongs. I started to get a bit excited. I don't think he liked the dip. I don't think Seman liked the dip either. Nap sunk in the first.
Cool, that was awful. Yeah, it was very disappointing, Dave. He's run no sort of race.
You got the wrong form line.
Yeah, maybe, but
We did.
Well, yeah.
Your understudy was
I took
closer.
on a
Your
bit of a Bruce
understudy was
Millingtonism there.
closer.
Don't
in the
mention
staying
the
division.
understudy. We've had
The
enough of
understudy
Wilders
had a
this
nice
weekend.
each
He was on
way
here
bet.
yesterday. He was on here yesterday.
I bet Wilders was all over Seman, yeah.
Semhan, incredible performance. I thought there's no way he could possibly win that race, given how
Being
keen
that
they'd gone
keen.
through it. I mean,
Yeah.
he is obviously miles ahead of Marc of 82.
Ebor? Makes you think about that, I
He's
suppose,
going to
doesn't
be. He's going to go up quite a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, he needs to, because you've got to be 96, 95,
not a
96 to
problem,
get in.
though,
So,
if you've got a
yeah,
progressive
he's going to
horse
be
like that.
lovely weighted. You'd imagine I wouldn't want to run him too much.
I'd have thought Valley Forge would be on that sort of trail as well, wouldn't you? Being a Melrose winner.
He qualifies, he gets in automatically for
I think he's probably not improved that much from what he did last time, though. He's plus 10 last time, RPRs.
Who's that?
I'd say he'd improved a fair bit.
Semhar, yeah.
I'd say you'd be going 97 plus 5.
No, definitely go
no
way. No way. He's running off 82, wasn't he?
This is what you get here on this show, fly on the wall stuff when people start arguing, but we've got to go north of the border.
Right.
They're not even listening. I know you are out there. We've got to go north of the border, and I'm looking forward to this. It's 2:05
this is your
at
nap.
Hamilton. This is my nap coming up. We'll have to slightly
You're not allowed
tease
to
that
nap
one.
in staying races, are you? Unless you're me.
This is another mile 5 staying race as well, and I'll be interesting to... I don't think you've gone for this, actually, but we know what Marc has gone for, Hryhorskyj. No good with Red Verdon in the first. You need to get yourself back on track, man, with...
Yeah, hopefully you can get back on track here with. There's two that I like here. Is King's Advice and Heights of Abraham for Keith Dalgleish. If you want to stick these on, we're just going to Dutch them both here, James. I think King's Advice is quite interesting. We'll have a score on at 36s, and we'll have 30 on Heights of Abraham at 8.6.
Okay.
A score on King's Advice. I just think he's interesting first-time blinkers. I mean, I think if they work, he could be thrown in here off 86. This isn't the strongest 0 to 95. He could be dangerous off that mark. And Heights of Abraham, I mean, that ran a good race at Musselburgh on the Queen's Cup 2 weeks ago. Was held up. I think he'll improve for that. Dropped £2 on last season's form. Has every chance for Keith Dalgleish and Callum Rodriguez. Handles a soft, trip ideal. Expecting a big run from both of these. I think Forza Orta for Kevin Ryan, favourite's a bit short. Probably have that in around 11 to 4. 2.86 looks a bit skinny for me.
So blinkers on for a visor and back on the turf. Trust in Braveheart and the hitman, Jason Hart, says Marc Hryhorskyj. You've got plenty of time to get that on. A big priced 8-year-old for you out there. OK, you mentioned Forza Orta, of course, who ran... Was it Thirsk on his comeback he ran? Or was it... yeah, it was Thirsk, wasn't it? By Get Shirty over a mile 4. You'll notice that Contact was second in there, all of those you students of the form out there, who, of course, won after we went off air yesterday. So the form looks quite good. He probably won a bit further. Look, he's lightly raced, isn't he? His best form probably is on soft ground for our friend Kevin and Ryan. Adam out there, Rowan Scott on. I thought he was a very solid fav with more to come. I just didn't like the price. I did, however, like the price. Drum roll. Here we go, Children in Need style. Annandale. Not the reaction I was really hoping for out there. Jim Goldie won this with Sir Chauvelin, one of his old favourites. And this chap, I don't think we've seen even scratch the surface of this boy yet. He's a 4-year-old, Paul Mulrennan won the 2:05 on yesterday's show, the Thirsk Hunt Cup.
Treble yesterday.
Did he up there?
He was having a good day up at Thirsk.
Yeah. This is
great rider.
Is this the new?
Sir Chauvelin. What's the other ones?
What's the other one called?
Nanton.
No.
That was a great one he had, wasn't it?
Goldie. What was the one that he had last year? That one.
Yukon Glen.
Yukon Glen.
Yeah.
Yukon Glen, Bruce's favourite.
Is this the new Yukon Glen?
Yeah. Well, look, this boy wants the trip, and I think at Doncaster last time, you got time, watch it back, as I say, on your member screen. He just keeps going, and third time up for Goldie. He's fairly well handicapped. He's in stall 5. I love Hamilton as well. I love writing about races there. I love watching races there. I love calling them as well. It's just a great track. Did you have a good record at Hamilton?
2 rides, 2 seconds.
Is that right? Oliver Twist, really?
But I got shouted at by one of the trainers.
Did you?
No longer with us, unfortunately. The late David Chapman rode old Paddy Whack in a kids' race. PJ McDonald beat me.
Did you have a shocker?
No, I thought I rode him perfectly fine, but the trainer didn't agree.
I've heard you harsh on apprentices before. Is that because you used to get whacked by the Paddy Whack stick?
Well, to be
You're
fair,
scarred by David
I could
Chapman.
argue with the old man when I rode for him, but with another trainer, you had to bite your tongue a little bit, which is quite hard to do.
Yeah,
So,
honestly, he has. I've asked him about some of his horses that run, and he's called out a few jocks. Let's put it that way. Disgraceful coming from the weighing room himself. Millman. The reason why you call him Millman, of course, because he's always trained by Rob Millman, ridden by either Patrick or James.
Oh yeah, I used to have a mate, and one of his
system.
favourite systems in racing was to back Millman. So whenever he saw a race where Millman was riding for Millman, he always used to text me, Millman tonight, G-Rod. And then 9 times out of 10, it'd lose. But
well, it would do, because the 12%.
But you did have a few really good winners for him. And I remember him coming down the pub being very happy with you, Millman.
Do we have any punters out there that remembers James punching it? You wouldn't have been a celebrating jockey, would you? But look,
I was informed about the flat jockey on the show yesterday. Had a better strike rate than me, apparently.
Matty Batch has a better strike rate on the flat than James Millman in their relative careers. Shock horror. Tip in this, please. You're on a double.
Yeah, I quite like Wise Eagle. 8 from 21. What a cracking strike rate he's got. Paul Hannigan 1 from 1. He beat your horse at Newcastle. He ran well behind the Cotswolds in that final at Newcastle. And he's back on the turf off a nice mark of 89. So he's a good each-way price. I think he'll be in the frame. And I think the favourite's the right favourite, Forza Orta. But look at those placed efforts. Taking 6 to 4, that kind of price.
Yeah.
It's too short, most likely winner. So I'm going to go each way angle, a bigger price one.
OK, all right. So there are some big prices floating around. We're taking on the Fav, although we believe he's, got a solid enough chance. Just don't know the price of that horse. Quite right, he's placed a lot. G-Rod, you need to big time get back on track.
He's got 3 races in the staying division on this show. So he's already failed on race 1.
Who was
so I hope race 2 gets a little bit better.
The handicapper's pick. Whoever thought I'd be asking you that?
Yeah, no, I'm with the favourite. Yeah, Forza Orta. Yeah,
Oh.
I think that he'll win this for Kim Ryan. Now the horse that he was third behind, Contact was second. Contact won yesterday.
Were you not listening to the main man earlier on?
No, he doesn't. He can switch off. He gives me jip for switching off. There's some social
Did he
love
say
out
that,
there
did
as
he?
well for another horse as well. Who's Tom Barras going for? Let's have a look out there in the social corner. You can see the spotlight board. They've napped Forza Orta. Can we get Tom's social up? Here it comes. I'm with Dave here, all over Annandale. Think he's got a cracking chance. The boys in the gallery like that one. Love it. We've got another one as well, or? Yes, we have. Marc B. I've gone Wise Eagle. You're weighing in on the prolific Millman. All right, good luck then wherever you're going. Delighted to be up in Scotland for a showpiece of Hamilton. Great to see them on ITV, of course. They're all the races that we cover for you here. It's the 2:05, it's a mile 5, and we're off and running. And right out the back, is that Annandale?
That is your
That's
selection.
my Annandale. Waiting. He did it on Radani yesterday in the 2:05.
That is also a Goldie trade, isn't it? And this big handicap.
They love it. You never see a front runner from the Goldie Yard, do you?
Apart from Eugen Glen, when he actually John Smith's, I think they switched it right up and
Just
made a run in with no
proper
pace, and
poker hand.
And away he went.
Do you ever have
okay.
any rides in races where they run up the straight and then back, James? Salisbury, something like that?
That was my best track and my best strike rate.
Was it?
Salisbury on the loop.
It's literally your home, isn't it?
I used to
You
ride-
present from there as well.
I used to get bonus flag start. Yeah, Hamilton and Salisbury are pretty.
We've got a
similar.
mile 6 race coming up at Salisbury, so it's a fair link. Up front, though, Tribal Art, who had a messy race at Nottingham when he was under a penalty. They're going for a quick recompensation, aren't they? Of course, he won the time before that. And surprise, surprise, it's these colours. It's Joe Fanning. He's out in front. Diocletian, former Andrew Balding horse, hasn't really gone right for Current Connection so far. He's the rag of the lot. He's pursuing. Quite keen up there in third is He's Zoom in those famous colours of Keith Dalglish's. The favourite, nicely settled if you're listening out for him. He's in fourth. What you might consider to be the box seat. Glasses up, Heights of Abraham there as well. King's Advice out the back with my one, Marc. How are you feeling so far? What's the market saying?
Yeah, with the betting, we suggest you want to be handy here up front. Tribal Art's currently 7-2, 4-2. Well, this went 3.6, 5-2 in running. Forza Orta is nearly
He
out to
just
2
came
to
off a
1.
bridle for a few strides for some reason. Not quite sure.
Yeah.
Quite sure why though.
Does that mean he's spiked? He has a bit,
The
isn't
man
he?
you want in front of here with Joe Fannin. Diocletian's quite handy, the old boy. He stays further. But as you say, Forza Orta's in the box seat here for Shane Gray.
I hope
Fanning from
Tribal
the
Art
front.
doesn't win this race because this was another one for the deputy.
Oh.
Wilders wanted to put up Tribal Art, and I again pulled rank and said, no, we're going to go with Forza Orta here.
He's on an ascendancy, that Wilders. Who knew? All
I think
right.
Heights of Abraham's travelling quite well at the moment. He's just tracking the leader.
Yeah, for another one, Keith Dalglish in there. Callum Rodriguez.
Travelling here, Dave.
All right,
We're
okay.
travelling.
Where's Annandale?
At the back,
He's
making
coming a
move.
little bit.
Come on, it's good
slowly,
thing.
slowly.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the
Go
fast
on,
then. He
good
takes
thing.
aim. I must be very
Keep on
confident
that.
he's going to stay. OK, he's gone right short in. Even money about to be broken, isn't it? Annandale looks the danger. Paul,
no.
maybe on the
Has he
inside
gone
as well.
too
Tribal
soon?
Art not done
No,
with.
not
It's a
Johnston.
stiff old finish, isn't it? Hamilton. What's this
It's a
as
stiff
well?
finish,
Heights of
yeah.
Abraham. He likes it as well. Annandale trying his very hardest to pick them up. He might just be the finisher. Come on, Paul, what you got? He's
he
probably
ain't.
not quite so well handicapped at the moment, is he? I don't think so. OK, he's just falling
This
off
is
the
a
floor.
tight race, Dave.
This is Tribal Art. This is Wilders
Come
versus
on.
Rodway. Heights
Come
of
on,
Abraham and
Forza.
Annandale forcing it out. No good
Come
for me,
on, Forza,
unfortunately.
get
Looks
up.
like the fan's going to do it.
Go
on,
Ryan will be
Forza.
high in this. He's probably up
Yes.
there. Oh, well done. G-Rod's back in. All right. Somehow the panel is going through the card. Tribal Art went out on his shield in second. What a big brave horse he is, not done with at all. And Heights of Abraham saw off Annandale for third. I need to pick myself up. Marc Hryhorskyj, clean us up with the market.
I think Forza Archer travelled really well, stayed on strongly. Tribal Art under Joe Fannin, that's been matched at 1.33 for just under £2,000. So the in-running punters, the backers, got their fingers burnt there. But Forza Archer didn't really trade higher. Well, for small money, trade a little bit higher, £3 match to 60s, but the majority of the money was getting absolutely put on from 2-3 out, because the backers certainly fancied that one. I think Annandale, the other one, the front two got first run. He didn't trade shorter than 9-2 and running for small money. Yeah, and Heights of Abraham, that one did look a bit dangerous. He's went as low as 3-1 for £9, but one for the favourite backers in Rodway there. Good job.
2 favs, 2 races down, wins all the way. And you don't believe in these things, do you? But there will be a short one coming up to make it a treble of favs in the next. The Pretty Polly, of course, coming up at 2.25. We've got a bit of time to pick the bones out of that. Nice horse going forward, of course. They're so good, the Ryan Yard, aren't they, at finding the right races. Group 1 winning trainer, of course.
I think he hit the front far too soon as well, because he eyeballed a Johnson horse 2.5 out. I think if he'd waited a lot longer, I think he's value for the winning margin. So I'd be keeping Forza Auto inside. And my negative pre-race was he got beat a few times. That shows there's nothing wrong with his attitude at all. I was impressed with that. That was a good effort.
Yeah, that's what you want to see as a 4-year-old, isn't it? That attitude going forward. And again, you wouldn't mind him dropping back to a mile forward, I don't think either. So maybe they could go up. Very versatile horse. Not always the sort of horse you associate with the yard, is it, a staying horse?
No, not generally. It would be up to the milers, wouldn't it? The Ryan team, loads of fast sprinters. Booney is a young 3-year-old.
Yeah, like him.
Progressing through the ranks. But you wouldn't pigeonhole a trainer, but you wouldn't save too many in the staying division.
Of course, just another bottle ran well yesterday, didn't it, in the Palace House?
So much speed, 5.5 for him.
Great St Wilfrid horse all over again, isn't he? But he'll need to come down and handicap a bit for that. Maybe there's a pattern race in it. So Adam, Ryan, if you're watching, friend of the show, sat on this panel, always, gives us a bit of class in the saddle.
In the training ranks.
Group 1 winning trainer.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
You
the
can't
master
argue with that.
of Hambleton Lodge.
Here we go.
The maestro. Absolutely, yeah. So great guys up there, and Yorkshire are having a fantastic weekend. First 2 races at Newmarket.
Down at Newmarket.
Absolutely flying. Yeah, the Yorkies are loving it, aren't they? We'll be going up to York, of course, shortly on this show. We're with you throughout the year, basically. Every Saturday in 2022, we'll be doing all the big festivals as well. Here we are on a Sunday. Who's with us? Let's hear from you out there. Cannot wait. There's the Betfair SP. That's bigger than you thought it might be, of course. Around about the 13-8. They came for it in the end. Probably not a bad form race whatsoever. Let's get up back to Newmarket, shall we? An Oaks trial. I think we can say that, can't we, Marc Hryhorskyj? I'm being contacted. Yes, all right. Let's get some social interaction up there, I'm being told as well. You're 1, 2, 3 in the biggie. Our final race of the day here. It's the 340. It's the 1,000 guineas. Will Aidan O'Brien win a 7th 1,000 guineas in the last 11 years? He's won 6 of the last 10, and he's got the fav in it. These two, I was looking for an adjective for you both then. I will withdraw it, what I was about to say. These two judges, I should call you, having won the first 2 races
You're
between
off, Marc. One each.
You are. The pressure's off, isn't it? Oh, you look at you giving me that look. Yes, okay. Look, third time lucky here, and I think the fav's got a very strong chance in this. It's Jonathan Adey Gosden. Marc Hryhorskyj, what do you like?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not overly keen on the Gosden runner here. I don't actually think her form's that great. The maiden form, last time out against Kevin Ryan's Fontaine, who was second, that one was keen throughout. And Anzini's, only asked her once the race is over inside the final furlong. Frankie much more vigorous on Cronelli. I think this is more open than the betting would suggest. She's roughly 2.34 to back at the moment, with the Moonlight 3.7. But I'm taking a chance here. There's one, an eye catcher. I like Henry Spillers outside of the field, Mashar. I think this one's overpriced for me. Still got to break her mating, but big eye catcher on Ascot on debut, staying on strongly when formerly trained by Richard Hannum. Slowly away at Wolves last time out, but still looked green for me. It was an eye catcher. I think there's more improvement there. So what we're going to do is, if you could do the honours, please. Jay, we'll have a tenner on at 90s, and we'll have the other 40 on at 9.4 in the 3-place market. Okay. I just think the way the race is set up, I just think she could be running on and we could nick a place here at a massive price. And she's been eye-catching for me in both her runs. Green both occasions. I think there's more improvement there.
After Ross Briley on Friday knocked it out with Cardam and said, "You'll never see me again if this wins." If this wins, I don't think we'll be seeing Hryhorskyj for a while, will we? He'll be propping up the beach bar in Mauritius, I'd imagine. Well, good luck to you, Mark. And it's a bit of a fly, that one, the outside of the complete lot. I suppose when you're looking at the market leaders and you're not fancying them, why not have a little play? So look, you don't have to bet in every race today. Safe gambling is our MO here at the Racing Post, as I always say at Betfair as well. And this might be one to sit out and have some fun with. We'll, of course, be looking at anti-post for the Oaks after this, probably after the Guineas as well. But just want to have a look at this social interaction coming up from Hart here. Not Hart, Hart, who says, could we get the panel's horses to note from the 2,000 Guineas yesterday? Aidan for me. Yeah, hard to disagree with that, I think, isn't it? With a view to going up in trip again.
Of olden times, proper homebred.
Yeah, in those colours, of course, olden times was.
He stands, I think, £500 is all he is stud for the years nowadays. Doesn't cover too many mares. He ran a cracker. Lucille, I thought, ran a cracker.
Yeah, tell me about Lucille, because that's one that's going under my radar a little bit.
Well, I had him down as a non-stayer and dropped back to 6 maybe for the Commonwealth Cup, but he blew the start.
Jersey?
To get underneath. Yeah, you'd say probably Jersey, perhaps. But yeah, it was
Jersey. First mention of the Jersey in 2022.
He ran the train on. I thought Check and Challenge travelled well. The first time on the
Yes, he did.
turf. I just thought it was. You saw so many horses in the field, down the field, that normally perhaps would have been much closer in a more average 2,000 Guineas.
Are we expecting it to be a race where horses also runs, if you like? I don't really want to say that in a classic, but also runs that go to these smaller tracks, they're just going to mop up?
Yeah, probably. It's always a good race, isn't it? I mean, every year pretty much. It's just about the best early season race.
Yeah, I think the right horse tends to win these days.
Every now and again there's a dodger in it, but not generally speaking.
Magna Grecia's race you might have thought was a little bit of that when he stuck on the well, but
Poetic Flare.
Well, Poetic Flare's good horse.
Poetic Flare. But yeah, I mean, it looked a good race. I don't think we're really telling anyone anything new, are we, by saying that the 2,000 Guineas looked a good race? I heard a lot of people saying.
What about Perfect Power? No, but I'm
know.
trying to say, there's a form lines to get on, isn't there? When Cedar Stars won the Eclipse, that's always my go-to for everything that ran in that race. The rest of the season won. Wherever it went, behind him. You get the Frankel shine, we used to say. Whatever ran against Frankel, you just go and win everything else.
Well, yeah, we used to be involved in dog racing. You know that? I used to be involved in dog racing. And what we used to do, before the dogs had run on track, was we'd run it against a really good dog, and it'd sort of tow it along around the thing, and it'd learn from actually finishing behind a better dog. So sometimes I have this theory on horse racing. You stick them up against a much better horse, and they come on for it.
I disagree. Opposite.
You disagree? What, you want to run them against horses that aren't as good?
Yes.
Why?
Because
what are you going to learn from that?
Once they get beat once badly by a good horse, they tend to not be the same again.
What do you think? It's sulk? And just go, I'm no good.
Horses like
I'm not going out on the pitch.
Perfect Power that have been winning their races quite nicely, and arguably even that Check and Challenge. When it's also easy, they enjoy it. You come up against a true superstar. You try your best, have an extremely hard race and defeat. Do you really want to put yourself through that pain barrier again?
It's like running against Usain Bolt, you mean?
Yeah, you're not going to. You think I've got no chance next time, because all these horses that have come to the race with quite a few unbeaten light infantry. I think another 2 from 2.
Yeah.
They win every gallop. They've won every race they've run in. Some might progress from it, but more would regress. I always like to be the ones on the crest of a wave and not have that hard defeat.
You were getting on so well.
That would be my take on that.
That's not how I would train them anyway.
Well,
we're talking about different animals as well. I mean, you've got yourself a metaphorical sort of bum steer there, as far as I'm concerned. But I wouldn't really know. I just think that you get form lines, don't you, that through the season you want to stick with. And I think it's hard to say that this year's Guineas will continue to work out well.
The whole thing is counterintuitive, surely, because probably one of the best angles in racing is backing horses that are dropping in class, that have run against stronger animals last time. Now, if they had a really hard race against stronger animals last time and then don't fancy it next time, then why have these horses got such a good record when they drop back in class against inferior opposition?
James?
Are they running to that level that they could have done? Generally, horses that are dropping back in class don't actually hit that peak that they did once. So for me, if you're on a roll, horses that are like when we've got them, they have 3 wins in a row in handicap company, they'll run an absolute cracker and finish 3rd. That's kind of their peak rating, and they never ever get to that level again. But when they drop in grade, they don't actually have to achieve as much as in defeat in that level.
But they would have had a hard race and they wouldn't fancy it. That was your argument.
Yeah, because if you're running against League One horses instead of Premier League horses, you don't have to try so hard to win.
This is the great thing about it. There's no right and wrong answer, really.
Anyway,
they'll still win, but they won't put in as good a performance as they can do. I think they've only got a certain amount of really hard races, and that's why we see jumping. Nicky Henderson, Paul Nicholls, they don't want their horses getting beat and having a hard race because they don't think they'll ever.
Well,
run
Paul
to that
Nicholls,
peak
you
level.
might not put into that category, but certainly, I mean, Paul's an
Brave man's
aggressive
game.
jumps trainer.
Well, and it sort of comes back to the point that I had at. I know that Henderson obviously argues that it's the ground, but for me, there's no way that Shishkin in the Champion Chase was ground related.
No, it
I
wasn't.
didn't
We
think we'd
know
be
that.
having this chat today.
Beaten
we'll
far,
be
far
honest.
We know that now,
early.
actually, because he was injured.
Oh, he was injured, was he? So?
He's come back with an
Was he?
injury.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
One question steering you back. This is what I'm here to
Sorry,
do. Can Caribus beat Bade?
Oh, good question.
Get in the way.
This is what people want to be hearing out there.
We don't know. I don't know how good Bay it is. Do you?
No, we don't know, do we?
That's the thing. He could be much better than the.
Well, he's
very
probably the
weak,
best miler in the world, isn't he?
Yeah, it was a weak division.
Well, look, that's what I'm asking.
But William Hagger seems keen to go up to 10 as well.
He does. And Darren Walker comes on the show. I believe Darren's great to have you, Darren. This is a really good question, actually. At Racing Post, which I think means all of us. I wonder if Native Trail will step up to 1 mile 2 for the Eclipse, while Caribus will stay at 1 mile for the rest of the year. This is the beautiful thing about this time of the season. It's all ahead of us, and we can try and map it out, can't we? Matty Batch in your seat yesterday said Caribus has outstayed Native Trail. Now interesting, but then you look at the pedigree of Native Trail, there's not a lot of stamina in it. Because he's big,
He's an invincible
and
spirit,
he's a bit
boy.
more sort of like grindy towards the end. I was expecting to see at least 1 mile 2, maybe even a bit of Derby in there. He does not look on paper anything like a Derby horse. However, I did say pre-Guineas, I'd love to see him in the Judd Monty, because I think a flat track over a mile 2 where we can wind and keep going, as we saw at the Curragh last year. Or have we seen the best of Native Trail? Is that 1-2-2 not going to be seen now for the rest of the season? So the questions out there for you are, can Caribus beat Bade? Oh, God, we could do with a serious match-up in the mile division, couldn't we? What price is Bade at the moment for the Lockinge, Mark? Things like that.
Yeah, just talking about Native Trail there. I mean, he's currently 8-15 for the Irish Guineas, 2,000 Guineas there. Caribus 2-1. I'm not sure that market's right. I'll probably have them a little bit closer, or maybe flip round, just as an example there. But I'll get I'll get the Bade one up for you as well, and get the Eclipse up for you at the moment.
It looks like the
Eclipse could be a
Native's going to go
fraction.
on, doesn't it? But Caribus, they obviously don't want to overface him too much, do they? I mean, he didn't have a prep going into the Guineas. Looks like they're going to go straight to the St James's Palace now.
Yeah, and ideally they want to keep them apart.
At first,
as much
I
as
did
possible.
your face when Batch said that, and then I went, he might be right. Did
I
he
don't think
outstay him?
outstayed. I think outspeeded, outpaced.
Well,
'Cause for me,
Charlie's comments to us yesterday were hold to James and let him go.
Yeah.
Whereas Native's a bit more of a grinder, isn't he? Like I said.
he's metronomic for me. He'll
Metronomic.
hit his sectionals and just keep on going. Whereas Caribus, a jockey has to choose when to go.
Press the button. So will we be seeing Caribus step up to the Eclipse or Native Trail? Do you think Caribus stays in a mile? Could Native Trail be dropped back in trip? That's something I'm trying to get my head around it.
No.
Well, there's enough
crazy, isn't it?
opportunities to keep them apart. They will do it. I wouldn't be negative against both of them over 10 furlongs. But
Yeah,
say
we need to see it.
Caribus outstayed Native Trail, I've
Yeah.
outspeeded.
All right, let's
Would be
get some
better.
tips then for this next race. But look, really, really interesting stuff, and I'm glad we're having the debate.
Going back to that Guineas, anyway, the Irish Guineas, Caribus isn't going to run, is he? Caribus is going to run in the Palace,
Yeah.
in the St James's Palace, and they'll
It
run
looks
Native
that way.
Trail.
Yeah, look, so like I say, so we
so
will
that's why
find
the
out. But
prices are
can Caribus beat Bade? That's one out there for you. That's something you're going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks in the run-up to Lockinge on May the 14th, which we will be covering here for you. We're also covering the Pretty Polly at 2:25. I'm watching Cronell go down. Course winner last time, stepping up in trip. I think that was Suit. I was expecting to see maybe a bit more substance. But
To the
we're
horse.
watching it go down at the start here, the grey. But this is a race that Frankie and John, they know how to win this more than
6
most,
times.
and I'm very happy to take a chance with her
Yeah,
here. I
6
think.
times Cronell's won this race, and I also really strongly fancy her, Dave.
You
think,
do?
Yeah, I think she'll win.
You think Uncle John's going to take this out?
Yeah, I think Uncle John's definitely going to do this.
All right.
The Clarehaven Maestro.
Anyone wondering what we're talking about, distantly related to John Gosden, would you believe it, is the Great Bear, Graeme Rodway. Distantly related to, probably, I don't know. I could go. The amount of images I had in mind, more like Aidan O'Brien. You look a bit like Aidan.
I wish I could train as good as the
Well,
Pedigree Maestro.
You're hoping that he takes out the Guineas, of course. What wins the Pretty Polly? Will we see an Oaks filly here?
I think there's a chance we could see an Oaks filly. Cronell deserves to be favourite, A, because of reputation, B, I like him when they've won at Newmarket and they head back to a track.
Yeah.
Ulysses, I like him as a sire. I'd like to see him do well from 2 to 3 of his offspring. And I thought that Roger Varian's filly, got beaten neck here in September, went to Newcastle and got the job done, even though she finished lame afterwards post-race. She said some quite positive reports about Roger Varian's team are in pretty good form at the moment, that they're hitting the target. And at the prices, well, she's 6.4 at the moment. I think that's now 6.2. That's where I'd be heading. Not because I don't like Crenell. I think the market has it a little bit too skinny, but
she hasn't lit the world up yet, Crenell, has she? But you get the feeling, but she was a bit unlucky, obviously, on debut, wasn't she? She probably should have won that, and maybe that form will work out nicely at the course last time.
She went to Seville.
She went to Southwell and got beat. She should have probably won.
Yeah, but he does that, doesn't he? Didn't enable
Newcastle.
Newcastle or something.
He's
like
won it with Swiss Range, Jazzy Top, and Tagruda, of course. We're talking about.
He's won it 6 times.
We're talking about Lati Dar, of course, won it.
Yeah, the only trainer to have trained more pretty poly winners is
who?
Sir Henry Cecil.
Well, there we are.
The master of Warren.
So look,
Place.
and the fact that this is tight in the market, which would put me off the Varian filly. Again, you shouldn't really always look into this, but Rog horses, when they're expected, they tend to have attracted the support because they like to have a go.
But against a popular Gosden, a popular Godolphin horse.
Yeah, why are we not looking at with the Moonlight?
Got beat at Newmarket last year.
I thought that was as good as she was, but this is them, isn't it? You know, this is Charlie and Will.
It's about late money for George Scott's Kick on Girl here. It's matched at 42s and at 29s. By the top of the market, Crenelli's bouncing between 2.32 and 2.4, with Moonlight's out to 3-1. I don't think they can make their mind up at the top of the market here.
Wow.
A little bit of late money for Kick on Girl for George Scott, big prices.
Interesting that, isn't it? Kick on Girl then for George Scott, a trainer who's sort of got his horse in good form at the moment, a couple of 2-year-old winners, and a rating of 81. Danny Muscat, a jockey I've got a lot of time for. I guess if you're betting that, you're just hoping that like Marc is with Masha here, that they're just all red herrings, these potential fillies from the top stables.
Yeah, the worst thing is it's 7 runners, isn't there?
Yes.
Quite a few of these owners would be very keen to get black type for their fillies, and third place is an absolute result for them.
A typical mixed bag then.
From a punting point of view, you need the 2 places, and I'm not sure the top quartet that there's going to be 3 of them don't run to a 90.
Do you want my alternative market on this? How I price this up myself?
Oh, a Graeme Rodway tissue for the first time this afternoon. Yes.
I priced this race up 4-7 Crenell.
4-7.
Yeah, 9-4 with the Moonlight. 23-1 Mashar, the thing that is 90. That
so you're with Marc a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
that Marc has put out. I've got that 23. I've got 43 Kick
on Girl.
Girl. And then I've got 120-1 Orion, Sept and Perip. What's Perip?
What? Peripatic.
Is that not running?
Roger Varian's.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got Roger Varian's at 120-1.
I think you really should have kept those thoughts to yourself.
Maybe be laying that in the place market here, Rodway.
Yes, you should be laying that in the place market. I will let you do that. Shall we talk about Set Horizon, of course, who was second time lucky last year, made a lot of her own running, still looked green when doing so at Nottingham. This is a completely different kettle of fish, but William Aggitt also has a good record in this, unsurprisingly.
He won it in 2019, didn't he?
Yeah, Max Sad was the winner there. That had a win coming into it and had run, but that was quite an impressive horse that day, wasn't it? I remember.
Yeah.
I really like this race.
Yeah, Max had won the maiden at Newmarket that Crenell won before coming on to win here, and so did Swiss Range in 2016, which was also trained by John Gosden. So it's a tried and tested path. This
whatever wins this will be, all being well, turning up on the first Friday in June, right at Epsom.
Yeah, you would have thought so. Possibly with another trial in between, or just go straight there? What do you think?
Good question. I think that's often asked to the trainers, isn't
Crenell
it?
wins, I'd say she'll go straight there because she's had 3
bit close to the Musi, isn't it?
All the late money for Crenell here in a 2.24. It's really getting solid now. 500,000 in the market.
Tissue from
They've seen the G-Rod tissue. Expect
the Rodway
Peripatic
tissue,
to go completely the other way. They're great tissues.
On the drift as well, yeah.
Yeah, all right, okay. So, look, good luck wherever you're playing. It's the second race that we're bringing you of 4 today at Newmarket. We're pretty much keeping there all the way. We are going to Salisbury for mile 6. I like one in that. It's not been my weekend so far. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, me too. But
can't keep a good man down. You just had the last winner. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I didn't back that one. You see.
According to you, this is absolutely picking money up off the floor.
Yeah, I've backed this. Yeah, I've backed this.
Same.
Yeah.
This will be the third straight fab for you out there as well. Good luck then. Tactical little affair it could be. Will Frankie try and dominate, as is so often the way? Arian, interesting horse for Hugo Palmer, and James Doyle, classic winning rider. James Doyle. We'll chat more about the classics going on. Let's keep your horses to follow for 2022 coming in. Might do that after, of course, the 3 o'clock at Newmarket. We've got plenty of time to chat. We'll give you loads of shouts out there. What an afternoon we're having. Welcome along. Racing Post Live, myself, Dave Orton, James Millman, Graeme Rodway and Marc Hryhorskyj having a great time with us from Betfair all afternoon. We will be with you for the Friday of the Oaks as well. Of course, the Epsom showpiece. We're really cracking along the flat season now, aren't we? All right, Crenell, really solid then. And...
Not money for Ryan.
I was just looking at
that over 100 to 1 on my tissue.
Yeah, again, I just would have kept a big 100 to 1 shot.
Again, you're like that. Don't say these 100 to 1 shots. But people are, they're weighing in with you. It's strange things you think you'll never hear during the day. A reminder that Marc Hryhorskyj, who made it third time lucky yesterday with a 33 to 1 shot, is going for the 66 to 1 shot. Masher here. Is that how we say it? Masher here?
Yeah, Masher, yeah, 85. It's a little bit. I just went at 80s there. Some small money for that one, but Ryan for James Doyle, Hugo Palmer, that was matched at 16.5 for 4 figures, all the way down to 9.6. So a bit of confidence behind that. But Crenell very strong before they just go in the stalls here, 2.28. It's probably going to roughly go off 2.3 BSP.
Marc Hryhorskyj standing by his convictions and not having changed Emboy Allen's little bit there on the picture to Allaho.
We'll get Masher's colour if this wins.
It could be Peripatic, of course, who runs in these very famous Cheveley Park colours, who settles in midfield. Crenell, absolutely lit up. Come on, Frankie. Where's those magic hands? I reckon he'll let us stride on a little bit. But it is Set Horizon, who made all at Nottingham on our second start for William Maggis.
Good pace.
Good pace. What you want, isn't it? Also keen out the back is Masher.
Danny Muscat's
also keen out the back is Orion. Everything's pulling, bar, I would say, Peripatic.
But the last
You're 120 to 1 shot.
It's the highlight of my racing post stint.
If Peripatic wins, we may have to go off air because we might struggle to bring it back to normal.
The last winner did pull the whole way and win, though.
Yes, of course, like Seman. All right, Marc Hryhorskyj, we're approaching the halfway mark already, would you believe? What price then Crenell now? She must have gone out.
Crenell is not favourite in running here, 3.1. With Moonlight's favourite around 2 to 1.
William Buick's had the perfect trip through in the Godolphin filly.
All right.
Masher's still got a chance. She's still travelling quite well at the back.
She's settled all right.
Place here. Yeah, she's still looking very green. Be happy with a place here.
He's just desperately holding on, Ray Dawson, in it for one lunge. But now the favourite has settled. Expect that, 9 to 4 at the moment. I think she'll go favourite again in a minute. Peripatic, the 120 to 1 shot is coming. Kick on girl, money for that as well, Marc Hryhorskyj said. Not totally done with. Now Tom Marquand presses the button and Crenell looks in a little bit of trouble. I'll tell you what, she's a good filly because she's coming now. But it is the Godolphin with the Moonlight. Here comes Masher on the far side. Orion's trying as well. Look at this, he can't possibly do this. Get it? Crenell's sunk, far too keen. I'll tell you what, Marc, you might just be knocking this out of the paddock. With the Moonlight, Peripatic, thankfully for Graeme Rodway, is not going to win. I think this is going to be Godolphin. Great shout, Marc Hryhorskyj, but you're going to be first place loser, I think. He's still shouting in the background, Marc Hryhorskyj, but this has flown, hasn't it? One for the boys in blue. She's just kept going. There's a lot of red herrings in this race, I think. Masher has run an absolute belter for Marc Hryhorskyj, but daylight, I'm afraid, with the Moonlight, we'll be heading to Epsom. Try and get us some prices afterwards. Can you compose yourself, Marc, after that?
Yeah, I think the best horse is won with the Moonlight. It's a good ride by William Buick. I think Masher, again, I think she was still green there. I think she's going to come on for the run. BSP 83.8. She's went as low as 3.45 in running there. So it did look like she was coming in on the outside at one time. She was 18.5, 18 to 1 to finish in the 2 there, but we'll take the 3 places. But Crenelli very keen as soon as she came out the stalls. She looked beat after a furlong. The lowest she's went around 2.12 for 2,000, but she never looked like winning. But I think with the Moonlight well on top for William Buick. So we got some nice profit there with Masher. Just unfortunate we ran into one, but I think she'll definitely be winning a race shortly, Masher.
Oh, I think you might be right there.
Black type secured.
But and this is something we're going to see throughout the season. Before we just have a quick word about the winner, Masher, Hannon, Shadwell. Shadwell have got rid of all these horses, haven't they?
105. They paid a fair bit of money
so there's going to be a lot of well-bred horses in some of the smaller yards. If you see a Shadwell horse like this, give it a chance. Marc was nearly on the money there. Great shout all the way. With the Moonlight, though, is this just experience runs race?
She's the only one that's really run a race for me, because William Buick had a lovely and settled, had cover from the Haggis filly.
You're not sure about that, G. You're sort of questioning that. I can see with your face.
Well, I just thought the 3 horses were the 3 best pieces of form, finished first, second, and third, but in the wrong order for me. With the Moonlight, I had pretty much the second best piece of form in the race on my figures.
Cornell was far too keen, wasn't she?
With Cornell.
Let's have a look at the pedigree of With the Moonlight as we concentrate on this, because a lot of
She's
people.
Frankel.
Yeah, she's a Frankel Debarwi mare, and Dream Castle, of course. Do you remember that? It was beaten in the
That's
Jersey.
the perfect breeding, isn't it, for Godolphin, really? Debarwi and Frankel.
Hard
teaming
to.
up.
Well, Frankel is your hope if you're going to step up, isn't it? Another 2 furlongs, but she wasn't stopping. Perhaps we shouldn't be too disparaging because she's been beaten, twice as a
Oh,
two.
Coida, she got beaten in France. She won the race at Newmarket last year for Fred Walker. She was third in St. Cloud on Friday, I think it was. But what she rated, 93 coming to. Say she's run to 100, which I wouldn't be too far off. The Spiller fillies probably run to about 90, and then the rest of them, were they going to step up from that maiden? Cornell was just far too keen. The fact she's so far clear of those in behind,
Yeah.
I just don't think the others have achieved what they're capable of, and probably, again, a little bit like the 1000. I think the fillies this year, they're nowhere near as strong as what the colts are.
Well, we are now nearly an hour away from the second classic of 2022. The fillies' time to shine, 3:40. Who wins? Let's have your 1, 2, 3s. We'll be doing that after the 3 o'clock. The 3 o'clock, of course, is the Dahlia, of course. Is it Dahlia or Dahlia? Did this with Bruce Millington once on the show. Dahlia or Dahlia? What do you call it?
Dahlia.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're correct. I, for once, got one over on Mr. Millington on that. Probably the only time. All right, we've got to go to Salisbury. The 240 is upcoming. Guess what? It's another staying race.
Yes.
This is the flag start. You had the great record there, so we'll come to you, Millman, for your tip after Marc Hryhorskyj tells us whether he's with the Hot Pot Oman or not.
Yeah, this market was looking very different a few hours ago. They couldn't really split Oman and Spirit Mixer, but all the money's for Oman now. All the backers queuing up to get on this. 1.85. I think that's pretty short for Ralph Beckett and Hector Crouch. The way this race is going to be run, this one is most likely going to be try and lead or ridden prominently. I just think Zoffy could be the spoiler here, and the Spirit Mixer could just sit in behind to get the perfect run. Callum Hutchinson taking off a valuable £5 here, but I do think this is a tricky race. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Oman on in the win market here. We're going to lay this one. We'll lay it for £50, James. Okay, at 1.9. I think this one's a bit too short. I'll probably have them in around 6 to 4, 7 to 4 the pair. So we'll have 50 on the lay at 1.9. I just think Zoffy could potentially spoil it for Oman. Tries to go forward, and then obviously you got Richard Hughes. His horse is running a bit better. That's another one we've got running for us as well. But I think we've got the value here. I think 5 to 4, 6 to 5 the field is value here.
Oh, okay, all right. So the first lay of the day for Marc Hryhorskyj is Oman. He's a horse that I do think does like to get on with it. I remember Tom Collins last year sat on the show and tipped him up at Haydock, and he couldn't get the lead. And I remember pigeonholing him then as a bit of a 3-year-old. Maybe it's not the case, but Zoffy surely got one way of running. First run for Hugo Palmer, interestingly. Of course, had a jump spell, didn't he? Lovely horse, Zoffy. He used to be with Tom Dascombe, of course, gone now back up to Manor House. Yeah. I like Spirit Mixer here. I think this is his course and distance. I thought Oman might get taken on by Zoffy. Slightly worried about him being weak in the betting, but Callum Hutchinson, Andrew Balding. Andrew's won this race, not surprisingly, before. Probably also has got much more to offer than a mark of 79 over staying trips. He will do for me. James Millman, take it away. This is your track and trip.
Well, it's a perfect track to get an advantage because you've got the flag start. So generally the jockeys walk around staggered. So if you are making a run in, you've kind of got a cheap 3 lengths without even using any extra energy. And round the loop, if you're making a run in, you get an easy lead. And great point is Zoffy, you're going to know in running. If Ross Coakley decides to ride him quietly at the back of the field, first run, back on the flat, big thumbs up for Oman. If Ross goes on, it's a negative for Oman, but we're not going to find out. We can probably make a guess once they're actually circling around at the start, but pre-race, that is a big question mark. But if you get an easy lead, you walk around that top bend, you inconvenience all your horses in behind you, and then you choose when to kick up the home straight. So it's a great front running track.
It's usually about 3 furlongs out, they tend to really kick,
yeah, once
don't
you
they?
leave the intersection, once you go past the rails, and if you've gone really slow, you can kick on earlier. It all depends on how much energy you've saved in the early stages, but you can really inconvenience a lot of other horses and gain a lot of free lengths at starts. A lot of these jockeys wouldn't do flag starts very often. You've got a few ex-jump jockeys.
Makes you think about Quickthorn as well, doesn't it, last year? Do you remember?
Dreadful ride.
Left at the...
That was a horrendous ride, and he got out of trouble so much because he let his horse duck up the paddock exit and do a U-turn. But the other jockeys didn't know that he'd done that. and they walk round and let Kieran Fallon catch up. But
Didn't he run a biggie in the Cigaro,
Last
didn't
round.
he? Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay.
That's a really good point by James there. Just this market could look very, very different after a furlong or 2 furlongs. If Sophie doesn't go forward, Millman gets a cheap lead, he could be trailing about 2s on after 2 furlongs here. So I think Zoffy's going to play a big mark in how this market's going to shape up after a furlong. But he's pretty weak, 9.8. So would the betting suggest that he isn't going to go forward?
Yes, Mark,
More
you've
money
just
for Roman,
taken it away from what I was going to
1.76.
say there. Yeah, absolutely. It's almost
He's
like
short enough, 1.76.
the market is
Again.
banking, G-Rod, on the fact that this is going to lead.
Yeah, and usually the market doesn't get it wrong when I always, remember St Calvados a couple of weeks ago when we were doing this show last week, and the market
Oaksey
just was
chase.
convinced. There was no pace in it, and the market just almost told you that St Calvados was going to lead. There's an air of that about this, isn't there?
We couldn't have preempted the Mr. Fisher start, could we? But you're right, they did get that right. And Spirit Mixer, I know he only ran 11 days ago, but I don't know, it probably was a.
we know he's going to get dropped out. That's how he's normally ridden.
I thought exactly. I can see him getting lots of cover. What about Tinwald, the outside of George Rook, who had a big winner yesterday?
He might struggle to get Tinwell to jump off. He's looking
He
very
looks a bit cautious at the start, isn't he?
recalcitrant. I think he's going to lose a bit of ground. George Rook, he's riding too short for the
Hughes'
flag
runner.
start. But yeah, Zoffy's your key. And for Marc, laying Oman, you do want to see Ross Coakley, and he looks like he's going to drop him out last.
Oh, the market might be right then.
Wouldn't help if you're laying Oman. We're with Race Beckett's charge.
You're with me.
1, 2, 3, 4. Zoffy's going to be held up.
You're
at
with
the
me.
back. I am for once.
Just got that
I'm on
on
Spirit
there.
Mixer. Yeah.
You're
Are
with
you-
Spirit Mixer?
Are you on Spirit Mixer?
I am.
Yeah, Spirit Mixer. Yeah,
The
that's-
expert eye guys have gone for this as well.
Yeah, I'm on Spirit
Oh
Mixer.
yeah,
Racing
I'm not
Post
with you
analyst.
then. I'm Oman.
He's Oman.
You're Oman, are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I'm
no,
the
I'm
Spirit
not-
Mixer.
no.
You said, oh yeah. For some reason I had it in my mind. What's the stayer that Rafe Beckett's got in the Jeff Smith colours that also runs at Salisbury? What was it? Eagle something? Iron Eagle? No, what was it called?
Yeah. I know.
Is that it?
No, it's not
I'm
Iron Eagle.
confusing the
I know
two.
what you're
Find it
called.
if you don't mind.
I know what you mean. But,
You know which one I mean.
Yeah.
Zoffy's away at the back here. Could be in trouble.
Oh,
Getting a
with the
bit
flag
cheeky,
start
aren't they?
then. It could be messy. Good luck wherever you're playing in the 240. Our one visit to Salisbury this
You
weekend.
know what? I'm not too
Beautiful
worried
track.
about this. I'm not too worried if he gets an easy lead.
Good
because
crowd at Salisbury, look.
I've seen a lot of these staying races where you think that they go no pace and the winner's going to lead all the way, and then
We're
it turns
off.
into a sprint.
Tinwald is off, and the
Tinwald's
thing
in
to
front.
say,
Rock Eagle.
Got a spoiler.
Rock Eagle, thank you
Got
very
a
much.
spoiler,
Spoiler.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want.
We've got a bit of pace pressure up there. Marc Hryhorskyj is laid. Oh, man. Shock horror, say people out there, but you'll be delighted if you've got in that Tinwald is having a bit of it as well. George Rook,
he's
of
having a
course.
go.
What did George Rook win yesterday? He won the
listed race for Hugh
Oh,
Morrison.
yeah, the Goodwood race, didn't he? Yeah.
Miss Fitzstairs or something.
Yeah, not Mrs. Fitzstairs. You've just shown your bookie hand there. Mrs. Fitzherbert.
Fitzherbert.
Advertising and all that.
Similar name.
Right, Spirit Mixer.
George
not
Rook
Iron
doesn't
Eagle,
want
we
to be
know
in
that.
front, but he's had to chase him up to jump off, and now he's out of control.
Is Oman the sort of horse, G, that absolutely needs to lead? We're about to find out.
We're about to find out. I always think that staying races are won really by quick horses, not stayers. They're won because they run slowly, and then they sprint at the end. And I think I'm hoping that's what Spirit Mixer is going to do here. But a lot of Richard Hughes horses seem to be keen to me, and this is another Richard Hughes.
I agree, actually.
Do you?
That's probably the first thing I've
Stop
agreed
the
with you
clock.
today, G-Rod.
All
I think
right,
Spirit
okay.
Mixer's in the box seat here. The mark is reflecting that.
He's got a beautiful bit of cover. This is
Yeah,
what we
he's in a
wanted to
really
see.
good spot, Callum Hutchinson, for
Yeah.
one run when you come around the bend. Yeah, I think things are playing okay. I think I've got a chance here laying this. He's not really moved, though. He's 1.78, BSP 1.71, but you never know. The Richard Hughes runner might have a kick as well, so sitting pretty, I think.
Zoffy would be pleased there's no obstacles in this race, wouldn't he? Because he's a dodgy jumper, isn't he?
He's such a nice horse, Sophie. He's one of my favourites. He's only won 3 times out of 25 career starts, but I just love him. I remember backing him under SDS at Windsor one day, and he just tries. But at the moment, he is being held up. I wonder if there's a later plan for Zoffy down the line. All about Oman, said the market, and he's trying to assume the front-running position. But Tinwald and George Rook, claiming that £3,
boxed in
are
here.
having something to say.
Where do we want to
Don't
be
worry
coming?
about being boxed in
They'll
yet,
stay far
Mark.
side.
Where do we want to be coming? Stand side or far side? I always think you want to come
5
up the middle.
furlongs out.
You stick to the rail. Well, if you go in the middle, you're going straight, so it's kind of the shortest route. But
If you're finding trouble in a 4-runner race,
no, it's the way they've gone, you're stuck. What's Carl
Mark's
Hutchinson going
panicking.
to do?
He's hitting the panic button.
At the last,
Yeah, he needs to get out now.
At the last meeting, there was definitely horses coming down the centre.
There's a
appeared to be doing
cutaway
better.
mark, worry not. Here it comes. This is the intersection where James says they start to go. And all of a sudden, Hector Crouch on Oman is saying, catch me if you can. But Tynwald is going with him. Zoffy making the outside run. Ross Coakley
we're
keeping
getting
Spirit
in
Mixer
there.
in.
Just
It's
hang on.
absolutely fine. Callum Hutchinson, take a little pull. Get
all
ready
right.
to go. He hasn't
All
looked to
right.
his legs.
All right.
Right here.
Hector
Come
Crouch
on.
had a look to his legs,
I'll
did
get him
not like what he saw because Spirit Catcher absolutely
Ross,
on the
what are you doing?
bridle at the moment. Zoffy having a
Come on,
go,
Ross,
he is
let us
keeping
out,
it in.
let us
Come
out.
on in,
Well, let it
Callum.
go.
This
Go
is
on,
it. Press the
Callum.
button, Callum. This is not
Go
Mossy
on.
Frankel. He's on the bridle. It's
Pick
not going
him
to be
up.
Archibald, is it? Oman
there,
going
yeah.
for it.
There we
Pick
go.
him up.
This is where we find out whether that run 11
There
days.
we go.
Aye, off we
Oh,
go, Spirit
Spirit
Catcher.
Mixer.
Come
Yeah,
on
he's
the
on, yeah.
mixer. I tell you what,
Oh,
Oman's
go
coming
on.
back. Not
Oh,
a problem.
rescue
Callum
race.
Hutchinson, he knew
Yeah.
what a race that is. And the bear holds his hand
That's
up.
two staying
in the
winners.
air. I tell you what, Tynwald, last of all, but wasn't he a key horse there if you took on Oman?
Yeah, he's certainly done me a favour there, Tynwald. Zoffy didn't give me much favours 2 out, keeping in the eventual winner, Spirit Mix. And he's traded Zoffy's traded as low as 5.7, 9 to 2. Never looked like winning, but Spirit Mixer, as soon as he got out, you were always confident he was going to get there under Callum Hutchinson, getting a lot of weight as well. Oman has went as low as 1.67, so not much lower than the BSP. But yeah, successful lay there. And I think it was a bit of a crazy price. Obviously, Tynwald did do me a massive favour, sort of softening up Oman, but every chance for the favourite there. But we'll take that, more profit for the charity. Happy days.
Well done, Marc, absolutely, and it was a juicy one. The market expected him to lead. He got taken on. So you must have, obviously putting your eggs in the Oman basket, you must have thought he probably would get the lead, did you? Was that
Well,
what
the
you
problem
based it
is the jockey was out of control. George Rock didn't want to lead, but he couldn't hold him. So
on? The jockey was out of control.
Well, look where it finished. It got beat 30 lengths out of the mixture. Your man couldn't get him to walk around at the start, and then he's asked him to go, and he's taken off. So yeah, it wasn't a great ride from that one, and it messed up Oman. But Marc had a right result because Zoffy wasn't going to be a spoiler, but he got one in the end.
All right, okay. I'm trying to find out what the tipping. I'm going to give you. We've got a tipping department here. They've entered a NAPS competition. Been trying to convince the race race analysts at the Racing Post to do a NAPS competition for some time. The national one. Has anyone seen that in the paper today? They are absolutely.
Yeah, they're well ahead, aren't they? At
flying.
the top, yeah.
I mean, they've not asked me to enter into the fray yet, but they probably should have done. They had that Spirit Mixer. It is Spirit Mixer, isn't it? I keep
Yeah.
wanting
Yeah.
to say
Spirit
Spirit
Mixer,
Catcher. I don't know what. Spirit Mixer, and they are absolutely flying. And a lot of people say it's already wrapped up, which is obviously ridiculous at this side of the season. I'm actually
Where does it
asking what the
start
strike
from
is now.
Whitbread after the end of the jump
6
season?
winners, 4 losers they've had so far, basically. But there's some big prizes out there. Expert Eye, you can get it in the on the nose email shot that comes out if you're a member, of course, and you get that Expert Eye. They often do the eye catchers as well on the app. They are a serious bunch.
Yeah,
Those
That's
they
why
are
you
a
aren't
serious
invited.
bunch.
Serious cohort.
I would be possibly the less serious of the lot.
Yeah.
But
In every sense of the word, aren't they?
well, they
Very
are.
serious bunch.
Trying to get
yes.
them to do anything on camera is a strange and difficult thing. But Marc Brown put it up. He's one of the best judges at the Post as well. So listen, Expert Eye, not giving it the big one. They are flying at the moment. And they're kind of like the excellent Kev Morley with his trends section. They're constrained by, they can only tip eye catchers and things like that. And if you look in the comments in running, which that department also do in your paper, did well in the circumstances, eye catcher, promising, one going away. They tend to tip in the comment in running now as well.
Yeah.
It's the best service out there.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, no. Marc Brown's going to be taking my place in a couple of weeks in the paper. He's going to be filling in for
We're
us.
giving you some time off for good behaviour.
I'm allowed a holiday every now and again. I know that I am
Again?
I know I'm the Racing Post maestro, but I am allowed a holiday every now and again. But if I were a trainer, of course, the ITV and all the guys on TV would be saying that's 2 winners today for the Racing Post maestro tipster, staying handicapper. G-Rod, what a
drumming
he
up
is.
the love out there, which
what they
is
would be
exactly what
saying.
you're
Common
doing.
refrain
Julian.
is self-praise is no praise, Graeme Rodway.
Right.
Well, if you don't get in my position, if you don't give yourself praise, no one will give you praise.
Let's get some social out there. Neil Francis. Welcome back, Neil. One of our regulars. Like it. Now, this is all about Graeme Rodway's tissues.
Oh, is this my
which
tissue?
you were right pretty much about, by the way.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously, Cornell was a stinker, but he got...
That one was like 64 on.
Look, but maybe Barry could hire G-Rod as a Betfair trader, so you could put the tissues up. What do you think, Marc?
I don't know, I need to speak to the gaffer about that. But it was a good shout. Mashir had that in at 22's BSB. It was about 100 to 1, 80 to 1, wasn't it?
Talk about self-praise, Marcus.
Yeah, we'll take that. Should have been on the 2 place market, shouldn't we? But yeah, we'll take it. More profit. Yeah.
Marc letting us know, of course, who is the actual trader out there for Betfair. Great stuff. It's great to have Marc with us this weekend. Show some love out there in the community. I can see lots of people watching, and there's lots of people giving away. They'll give you the shout-outs. We've got some 1, 2, 3s, the trifectas, of course, what we call... have to start calling it the Natalie Green. She's been knocking in forecasts, combination trifectas. Ridiculous. You've not attempted one of them today.
No, it's too.
You got to start raising your game, Millman.
Race one, and then we'll keep it.
You've got the first winner, and it's all been sliding
Downhill
down
from there.
since. Yes.
Am I winning now?
You are.
I've got 2 winners. How many you got, Orton?
One.
1 and 1.
1-1.
2-1-1. 0 for
But
Marc
you've had
Hryhorskyj, but he's
three
Marc
staying
has gone for
races,
the
which
big
is your
price.
speciality.
Glory tips out there. It's all about the fillies now, Marc. 2 races left from Newmarket. We've had the Pretty Pollies, the 3-year-olds. This is the Dahlia, won by some very good fillies over the years. The French have successfully taken it out there as well. The Graffard stable sends over for the Aga Khan. Abira, who do you like, my man?
I thought Abira, the French reader, was interesting, but I think this one will probably appreciate softer ground. It's probably got the best form on offer. I think Sir Michael Stur's Villa de Grace is too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Dutch 2 against in this market. Okay, first one is Dream Looper. It's about 5 to 1, 6. If we have £30 on that.
Yeah.
And that was a big eye catcher, solid third behind Saffron Beach and Mother Earth and the Sun Chariot last time out. And obviously that form's been franked at Maidan. I'd probably have this winning around, talking about tissues, probably 11 to 4. I've seen 6.2 on Betfair right now. Appreciate the step up and trip, handle the ground, top rated. Again, massive price. And the other one will have a score on Climate of Jessica Harrington's. Another big eye catcher for me last time out in Newmarket. Just couldn't get a run behind the eventual winner, Villa de Grace. All her best work was late on as well. With a clear run, I think she'll run close to the. I think she's a massive price at 22s. So that'll be the 2, Dream Looper and Climate against the field.
Yeah, both very interesting. Jessie Harrington, of course, got Discoveries, well fancied by many at the post. And you out there, of course, anti-post plunge on the Moyglare winner coming up at 340. This would be a boost. I've read the Sunday Sizzlers today. Kills said, I was starting to worry a bit about Jessie's form. She, of course, had winner at Punchestown Festival. Perhaps I ought not to worry too much. But if this goes in, expect Discoveries to harden up for the Classic coming up at 340. Both are interesting, Marc. I'll give you that. 100%. Dream Loper, again, watch it back. You can do that on your members. Look for your replays now. I thought she might be the danger. My worry, Marc, about Dream Loper is as a 4-year-old, she took a little bit of time to rev up. She was favourite, do you remember, for the Fillies and Mares handicap at Ascot?
I think we worked on a day and lights
Lola
on
Showgirl won it.
just changed. Oh, and the Royal Ascot and again for the start of the season.
Yes,
May,
I remember
lights on.
the straight track she ran on at Ascot as well.
Yeah.
We did cover that, James, you're right. She could be a bit buzzy, can't she? Small field would slightly worry me, but I take your point. The Saffron Beach form is interesting. And Climate was an eye-catcher the last time it ran behind Vildegras. I just think this year, as a 4-year-old, we are going to see Vildegras take another step up the ladder. And I love this race. I love to follow a filly from it. They usually go on and nearly win the Windsor Forest, or the Duke of Cambridge, whatever it's called now, at Royal Ascot. One of my greatest ever moments in racing was Usherette in 2016. Do you remember the Andre Fabre, Michael Barcelona, won this race? And I think I've got time to do it.
Here's an interesting piece.
Hang on.
No.
Hang on. There's a dramatic pause there, Marc.
Interesting bit of form. The horse we were looking at yesterday, Primo Bascio, was very disappointing. Villa de Grace was about 8 lengths behind that one at York in the Phillies Stakes.
Marc,
I'm not so sure about the form.
You should be listening, Marc. There was a dramatic pause there. The boys in the studio are laughing because they know when I do dramatic pause, it means I'm about to tell an interesting story. And Marc Hryhorskyj goes straight in. I don't want to listen to that, he says. Probably like all the viewers out there.
Marc's quite
Look,
right.
Blame him.
Vildegras, we can call her, who of course won. She came onto my radar when she ran at Sandown. She was third that day. She flew home. I backed her at Yarmouth. She got an ideal run that time, and I thought, not sure about her at Newmarket next time. Did put her up tentatively, like I am doing for this race, and she showed me she's the real deal. This is a typical stout project. This is going to be Ryan Moore's winner today, I think. Not Tenebris, I'm sorry to say. In 40 minutes' time, or coming up to that. And I like her a lot. Although this race doesn't do it for me like it usually does. That's where I was trying to get to, Marc. And Paul Keeley was the betting editor at the time in 2016. And I got to do one of your columns, I call it, Trading Post or whatever we call it, and I got to do the tipping. And I said to Kills, I don't really fancy too much today, but I really fancy something for Royal Ascot next week. And that's a bit of a no-no with Kills, wasn't it? He was a bit like, oh no, we just want to know what wins today. And I put Usherette up as a 4-point win for the Windsor Forest. And he went, no, not even Tom Collins had done that, 10 points on. Right, and he went, you've got to be absolutely sure. I think we went down 3. Of course she won. And I was there, and it started raining, and me and my mate that were there, we were watching it. It was raining, I can't believe it. She came through, she was a top-class filly. Look, the tenuous link is top-class fillies win this. They usually go on to win at Ascot as well. Do you remember Lady Bowthorpe last year? Of course, took it out. Who was the stout horse in it last year? Queen Power or something, wasn't it?
It's always too keen, isn't she?
Just didn't quite get it right, did she? Anyway, my long-winded Marc Hryhorskyj interrupted story on Ville de Grace. She's the right filly. I hope she's right for today. Whatever she does, she'll nearly win the Windsor Forest Duke Cambridge. Call it what you want.
Ground. Slight query for me.
Okay.
Both the wins came on good stuff at the back end of the season.
I think it might have just been back end stuff, but that's...
Sir Michael Stout bringing him on steadily.
Are you tipping this?
No. I'm going with
OK.
Mr. Graffardi says he wants a strong pace for his horse to come over.
You would have wanted more runners then, wouldn't you? I read that comment and I'm like...
George Bowie...
You're hoping SDS does what he
blinkers,
does.
SDS,
yeah. On
romantic rival, and a trainer's quoted saying she's probably going to go forward. So I think he might get it, and Lilac Road might well be pretty handy as well. But I just felt the ground, what Marc said's cracking observation, but actually she ran quite well in Riyadh behind a Japanese winner, finishing 3rd. And I just felt it was interesting that she's come over here and in a race which isn't as good as in recent years.
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah, I
thought she was the one to be with, but I wouldn't disagree with either the leading contenders, really.
It's a bit of a drop back, isn't it? That's the thing. And I know they do stop-start. I got all that, G-Rod, on Abira. We had Matt Gardner, our handicapper, down on Friday doing Watch Out with him, and he was really keen on this. He thought this would be he's watched it a lot, and he said, I think this is the right scenario.
Yeah, well... Ascot actually got that right the other day, didn't they? You hear a lot of this pace analysis. I think it was Ruby Walsh actually on RTV got it right with the staying race at Punchestown. He basically said that Classical Dream would win because they would go no pace. The fastest horse, yeah. And he would have too much
that was good to see, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He won well.
But you see a lot of people go down this pace analysis route and then exactly the opposite to what you think is going to happen actually happens.
Yeah. But the problem is connections also have a look at pace marks. So when your jockey comes out and goes XYZ is going to be making a run in.
This is the on paper that we talk about, right?
Exactly, and you say, oh, okay, we're going to get a fast pace. So we'll take a lead today. BC jockeys also say, oh, we'll take a lead today, and the one that does go on gets a freebie, or it's a bit of a messy race. So it's good to go in depth, but unless you know in black and white what each individual instructions are.
In the early days of the Racing Post Spotlight department, there used to be there's a bit of legendary talk about how the Spotlight writers used to try and fool the jockeys into trying to think they had to make
especially
money,
jockeys will
like
read your comments
and all that sort of thing. I know the jockeys, we're fully aware of that, trust me. It used to be like the bat phone when people actually were in offices. I've no names out there. Stevie Donoghue. Anyway, he was having a great time of it, and we hope to get Stevie back in here shortly. We saw him just touched off, didn't we, at Goodwood yesterday. Right, tip then. Dahlia time.
Yeah, I'm with you actually again, Dave. Yeah.
It's a good place to
another
be.
One, yeah, Ville de Grace. Yeah, I mean, the master of Freemason Lodge does an absolutely...
this is a master. Sorry, but this is.
He does
this is a maestro and a master. He's the best.
Yeah, I do like Sir Michael.
Who doesn't?
He's a great. He's great, isn't he? But he obviously. It's boring, isn't it? But 4-year-olds, they will improve. They're stout and trained. He's got a famously good record with horses who are returning at this time of year. Yeah. First time out, they're almost always fit. They usually win.
Not much between her and Lilac Road. I thought Lilac Road might have been a bit shorter.
Yeah, well, it's course form, isn't it, as well, which I like at Newmarket. That French horse is following Ryan Moore down, Christophe.
She wears a hood, a
wearing a red hood.
Enough going down as well.
And she looks keen. I mean,
that's again, the trainer says he's come over here for pace for that very reason. I suspect she does take a bit too much of a hold
Yes.
over.
So if you're Ryan Moore, do you not just get tempted to run off here and let Byro, maybe overboil it a little bit? Why is Ryan letting her do
It's okay you doing that, but then one day you'll say, "Could you help me out?" And then a jockey will go, "No." So it's kind of you pick and choose when you want to be ignorant.
So if
and you choose the right jockey to be ignorant too, because otherwise
you don't do it to Christophe.
Yeah, you'll have problems in future. If he goes to France, there won't be any friends over.
No, quite right. All right, Marc, we've spoken. We know that you're taking on the top two in the market, aren't you, with a little bit on Dreamload and Climate. Again, Climate does look more overpriced on that unlucky fifth last time. I would think that 98 might be a slightly higher official rating had she got a better run there. But Abira looks the one for money to my eyes. Will she go off Fav?
Yeah, all the late money is coming for Abira here, 2-1. Pedigree pretty weak out to 3.3 on the Betfair Exchange. It's 350,000 matched in the market right now. Dreamloper roughly around 6.4 to 5.9. Climate slightly on the drift out to 28s from 22s. Lilac Road weak as well, out to 6.8 from 6.2.
From our favourite.
Yeah, Ryan Moore's come off Ville de Grace. Yeah, it's just she's jinked and chucked him off.
Yeah, she's very weak in the place market as well. The two-place market out to 1.93, so maybe they've got on quickly. Pretty weak in the three-place market as well. They want to be taking this one on.
Luckily, she's not loose. Luckily, they've
no damage done.
Yeah,
just a slight quirk there.
Yeah, Ryan doesn't look very happy.
No, and
to say the least.
Well, no, probably not. All right, this is the Dahlia Stakes. It's 3 o'clock. After this, we've got a nice gap to chat up and build up to the 1,000 guineas. Lovely. I asked you earlier about Caribas. Can he beat Baid? What price Baid for the lock-in, Marc?
Yeah, I need to load that one up. Just give me 2 seconds.
And if you hadn't been interrupting my dramatic pause, you would have found
You're
that.
never going to live that down, Marc.
No, he's never going to live that down. I was like,
they're just trotting the favourite up here.
Yeah, she's not looking happy, is she?
That's not good. You watch her spike out a bit now, then as a buyer will come in. Yeah. All right.
Smiley, unfortunately.
Dreamloper coming in for a bit of money as well. Marc Baid, please. Lock-inge.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work that.
Come on, Marc.
Just
give G1 Wilder some stick.
Go back to the trainer quote of Mr. Graffard. He said, didn't want to go against Grand Glory either in France, and she has just bolted up.
Has she?
So they've chosen the right race anyway, not taking on that rival. And I just thought that was quite an in-depth quote there in the post this morning.
1-2 on the sportsbook right now on the Betfair Sportsbook. Baid, Mother Earth 7-2, Aldari 13-2, and Real World 8-1. So Baid pretty short for the locking stakes at 1-2.
Rightly so. I think Mother Earth can sort of understand. All right. So can Caribas beat Baid? That was something we were doing. All the chat about the guineas, that's absolutely fired up. But let's have your trifecta, your 1, 2, 3 in the 1,000 guineas, and we'll get them up on the social. Give you a shout out by your name, and we'll go through each of your runners as well.
Ryan Moore's back on.
Good. So Ville de Grace is going to be. I think Stout Yard just want this to get this. You've got to get your prep, haven't you? Here. If she finishes second or third, then it won't be the worst thing in the world. With Royal Ascot in mind, firmly on the horizon now, isn't it? Of course.
They don't usually finish second or third though. First time up for Stouties. They usually ready to go.
He's in pretty good nick as well, isn't he?
6 from 24, I think.
Noon Star, of course.
Bit disappointing though.
Just winning by a neck.
Yeah,
well, the market suggests
I was
way
second
better.
that day, and I thought that if he'd got going a little bit earlier on
Lights
that, maybe
on.
he would have won.
Yeah, no, you can correspond with that one. She was impressive.
Pretty good at that. Corresponding. All right. This is going to be
She's
clear.
not looking happy.
Good to see the odd con colours, though, isn't it?
Yes.
On a card like this. Great to see. I mean, think
Not
of the
too
great
many come
horses he's
over.
had over the years. My lord. Right.
I think, what price is she now? She is
3.25, yeah, and 94
There's a
Marc,
slight
Jamie.
delay here, if you're wondering, because Ville de Grace, what was the favourite, Sir Michael's don't
She wants to go backwards, not forward.
trotted around. She didn't fancy it too much, did she? And the saddle needed readjusting and all that sort of stuff. But all right, so 3 fillies races we are ending with. We've seen the Pretty Polly. With any quotes coming for the Pretty Polly winner, Marc, for the Oaks?
Yeah, I'll need to find that one for you as well. Just give me
Blimey,
one
I tell you what,
second.
You are putting him on the spot, to be fair, Mr. Orton. You're just
We'll have
like
to call him
leaving him
Anti-Posterowski, won't we?
to hang and dry.
Yeah, we've got. Is the Epsom Oaks you're looking for? The pretty which one?
The Oaks.
Yeah, 7-2 Tuesday, top of the market right now.
Anything from With the Moonlight that won the Pretty Polly?
Let's have a look. 8-1, 9-1 best price available, so it looks short enough.
Yeah, we were musing, probably on paper, not the most obvious stayer, but We'll go there, we reckon. All the trials, of course, about to unfold. Chester this week. Chester fans?
No, I hate this.
And it's a Marmite track, but I think the word Marmite was invented to metaphor with tracks because of Chester.
I avoided entering any horses at Chester. It's a horrible track to ride.
How did we get on at Chester? I mean, I could find out, but...
0 from 3.
Villa de Grace is weak before we go on the stalls here, Dave. She's out to 3.35, she is. It looks in the place market. She was out to 1.94 in the two-place market. It looks like the layers were trying to get her, but she's back into 1.86 to back in the two-place market.
But it's taken 3 minutes just to actually drag her into the stall. She's not
Ryan will be
not happy.
Steam coming out of his ears when he was... There could potentially be boosts all over the place for the Guineas coming up here, by the way. Climate is still surprised that she is as big as she is. Definitely not just a truck mate, I don't think, for Discoveries. Chester fan? You've got to be a Chester fan.
Absolutely love betting there.
Absolutely love betting there.
Brilliant, isn't it? It's like bumper cars.
Yes,
That's what we like. You know, we like a little bit of mad round the bend.
Chester fan?
She's a very big price, this Climate, isn't she? 38. So I'm just looking at it just now on the Betfair Exchange. Not a Chester fan, no. If you don't get to the front,
he was
you've had
listening.
it.
He got it in the end.
Yeah, if you don't get to the front, you've had it. Simple as that.
You could do GIFs with Marc's... when we go to Marc, you could do GIFs with his face in case we do catch him out.
You know if we're in trouble or we're on a winner. But
There were some great clips yesterday of Marc, by the way, when we were going to him and running. He was literally like, a bit like that was what we want to see.
If we're on a Franny Norton one at a price and he goes to the front of Chester, we could get a good gift for that one.
We absolutely could. All right,
He's the main man.
Let's hope we get a gift after this then of celebrations. If you're with Marc Hryhorskyj at a massive price second in the last, he's taking on the front market leaders. Ville de Grace.
Very keen.
I don't know about very keen, Marc. What are you watching? I'm going to be a jockey here. Dream Loper's this is what she does. This is kind of what we thought she might do.
I'm very happy with this position, Davey.
You're happy with Romantic Rival. You said this would happen and give a pace to...
Not my horse, is at the back of the field. That's quickening up now. I think Christoph's happy at the back.
Please, aren't you in running, Mr. Millman? Climate settled really well. Lilac Road, lot between her and Ville de Grace on the end of season form last year. Very happy with how the favourites order.
Yeah, Ryan's in position A1.
Which is what we love.
The forward and running here, 2.56. Ryan Muir here.
She is doing plenty under Ryan's hands.
I tell you what, if you laid on those pre-race antics, you're now thinking, I'm not sure, but Ebira, she's going to be the finisher, isn't she?
Christoph, you're going to
Okay, so getting a lead at the moment is Ville de Grace, what we think will be a big improver this year for Sir Michael Stow. From Romantic Rival, SDS. How much has he settled up front and kept up his sleeve in those first-time blinkers? Dream Loper now has dropped ahead, but will it be like Simran in the last? And too much damage done. Lilac Road catching my eye. Climate not done with as well. And when does he make a move, guys? Super Sumi.
Half a mile to go. Ryan started to...
Climate's travelling quite well still.
Yes, she is. I think Hryhorskyj gift might be coming up. I'd be very happy with
Come
now.
on, Ryan.
Now he presses the button, and Super Sumi is trying to react.
Yeah,
I think she
Sumi's
will
gone
finish,
inside.
obviously, Ebira, but is she pacey
Come
enough?
on, Ryan.
Climate could be the danger at the moment. Now Ebira starts to hit top gear. Ville de Grace in front. She's gone very low. What is it? 1.72
Come on,
because
Kieran.
Ebira's coming.
Ryan.
Dream Loper's coming. Climate's coming
Kieran.
as well. Lilac Road on the far
Kieran.
side. Here comes the
Come on,
gift. The
Christoph.
Marc Hryhorskyj. She's
Ryan.
drifting Ville de Grace, but
Go
she's
on,
ever so
Sumi.
gained. Sumi
Come
will
on,
be the
Kieran.
lunge.
Go on,
This is
come
not
on,
over.
Kieran.
Dream Loper on the far side. She's gained
Yes,
Ville de Grace.
brother.
Will Ryan Moore get up? Super Sumi. Oh! A three-way finish, my lord.
This is
Ville de
close.
Grace in the centre of Ebira, who
Very
might just have
close.
got there too late, or Dream Loper, who ran a massive race on the
Very
far
close,
side.
very close, Dave. Very close.
Mayhem, we're on the nod. At
On the
this
nod,
point, you're
on
thinking
the nod.
Ebira's getting there, James Millman.
Here we go. I think it might be.
It's Ville de Grace, isn't it?
Ville de-
Yes! I'm going to
Baby.
go with Ville de Grace. I think we've
We
got,
got
it.
it,
What
Dave.
a ride, Ryan Moore. I also
Yeah,
started in the
what
greyhound
the
world and we
heck
got used to calling the photos, and I think I would be calling that.
I know, I'll do a Dream Loper.
Oh, no,
Very
Dream Loper on the
close.
far side, is it? Look, we're doing all sorts of angles here. We can't quite
Chasing
tell.
on Betfair here on the photograph.
It's-
Villa de Grace was 3.7. But
Yeah,
showed that
I think
clip
you've got
winning
beat,
Paul Don.
guys.
It's not a
Don't know.
Byra. Oh, you said that
No.
with a bit of joy,
Villa de
didn't you,
Grace-
Millman?
Villa de Grace 2.14.
Oh, man, that's
1.68 in the
close.
photograph.
Oh, let's hope
This is where
are.
you want to be,
Very
guys,
good.
when the photo betting. Look, she's going short now,
I
Dream
don't think
Loper.
we've lost,
You've
Dave.
lost.
I don't think we've lost.
Oh, man, Ryan Moore has absolutely kitchen sinked her, hasn't he?
Oh, he's given her a cracking ride.
He's came right across as well. It's
No
very close, isn't
excuses.
The betting's up, look. There we can see it.
Suspended. If
It's
they
not
called
suspended
it.
yet. She's very
Oh,
short now, Dream
1.2
Loper.
now.
I'll tell you what, talking of good rides as well, Kieran Schumacher must have thought horrible through the first two furlongs. Marc Hryhorskyj is praying Dream Loper has got up.
She has.
Herself and
Dream Loper has been
G-Rod.
called by
Oh,
the
no,
looks
it's
of
been called. Marc
Well, the
Hryhorskyj.
winner.
Well done, Marc.
Well done, Marc.
Vildegras
I'm very
is
pleased
painful,
for you,
isn't it?
Marc.
Hold on a second. That is close.
That is, but it's pixel time, isn't it?
Oh, dear.
Abira's been, well beaten, actually, hasn't she?
Well,
They've been beating nothing there.
All right, Marc, let's come to you. Must have been up and down. Bobby. Oh,
Yeah, the photograph was an odd one as well. It was the Villa de Grace on first view, and I thought Dream Loper had got there, but Villa de Grace actually went odds on the photograph at one stage, and they flip-flopped. But Ibira, the French trader, Christophe Soumillon, looked like she was coming there for a challenge. That's been done at odds on 1.96. Villa de Grace has only went as low as 1.24 for £307. But the eventual winner, Dream Loper, I'll tell you how big this has went a big price. This has been matched at 130s for £5. So whoever laid that.
to be fair, you wouldn't have been keen after 2 or 3 furlongs there, because she was really putting 4 ahead in the Kieran Schumacher. So fair play to the male, and she improved a lot as the season went on last year. So she might well be the best of these anyway.
Yeah,
She's
they'll
just come
all
out on top.
reoppose, won't they? You'd imagine.
The races go for themselves, and they'll be Royal Ascot next.
I would be very happy to take her on with Vildegras, I think.
You'd take Dream Loper on?
I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would. I think she was there to be shot at, wasn't she? And she's kept going. She improved as the season went on, but I did say pre-race, didn't I? I was worried about first time out for Dream Loper. She's done something she's never done before, and great training by Ed Walker to get her, in the right place first time up. So, yeah, okay, Kieran Schumacher, a jockey we've all got a lot of time for, isn't he?
Yeah, nice double at Goodwood the other day on Friday. Charlie Hill's his main man. He's having a lot of winners for him, and Ed Walker used his best available, so that's a good winner for him.
Yeah. I've got no problems about Kieran Schumacher riding anything that I fancy whatsoever. Who would you take out of that?
Don't like it when horses finish on top of each other, which is what's happened there.
Well, we said pre-race that it wasn't a particularly strong renewal, and it's kind of been backed up, isn't it, really?
Even Climate's run close, isn't it? And they were all, Lilac Road. I suppose you could argue that Vildegras has improved a little bit on the Lilac Road run, but yeah, the buyer as well, just a little bit too late, wasn't it? I'm sure a lot of you are cussing the screen at the moment with Super Soumillon holding up a mile 4 horse, but she's come there with every chance in the end, really, so that would have been the plan, wouldn't it? All right, there we go. If we needed a bit of a energy boost pre-Guineas time, we've just had it, Marc Hryhorskyj, a 3-way finish. We're going to get the idea from social land out there who the 1, 2, 3 is in the 1,000 guineas. There is the exchange market. What's the liquidity with half an hour to go?
Yeah, we've got 677,000 in the market right now. Probably estimating around 2 million plus before they come out of the stalls. But Turnerborough, I'm strong favourite, 4.13 to 1. Could potentially go off shorter. I've got Christophe Soumillon, Malavath at 7.4, and we've got Aidan O'Brien's other runner Tuesday, Frankie Dettori 7.6. But yeah, it looks pretty competitive. But yeah, looking forward to it. There's more money coming in now. It's nearly 700,000 matched in the market on the Betfair Exchange.
OK, thank you, Marc. Right, we'll watch that ramp up. We've got half an hour till the supposed off time, and let's get some 1, 2, 3s out there for the Guineas and see what the panel make of them. Who's first? Let's see. Neil Francis gets the floor. Discoveries on top of Tenebrism and Tuesdays, an all Emerald Isle 1, 2, 3. That hasn't served us too bad over the winter. There,
Not a
Neil,
jumps
has it?
race.
It's not a well. Look, Neil thinks that the dominance will continue, so it's not a jumps race. I think we all know that. Discoveries. Jesse Harrington. Climate didn't run badly. This will be the anti-postman pick. Robbie Wilders.
I don't see this argument. Keels loves this.
Kills loves it. Moyclair winner.
Don't see it myself. I think it's on a breeding angle. Is it not? Is it not?
Alpha Centauri,
Yeah,
isn't it?
is the horse not related to Alpha Centauri, who suddenly got so much better as a 3-year-old?
She was massive, Alpha Centauri.
Yeah.
This isn't as
Amazingly
big.
good 2-year-old for her size, isn't she?
Yeah.
Discoveries Keels' argument, I think, at the start of the season was that she would improve in the same way that Alpha Centauri did, which she might, of course, but I didn't buy it.
Alpha Centauri, the Coronation Stakes winner, she was imperious. I loved
good,
her.
wasn't she? Yeah.
Loved her. She got beaten as a 2-year-old, of course, didn't she, at Royal Ascot? Funny unpronounceable French thing, I can't remember. Anyway, okay, let's get some more. Steve Madge comes on. Steve, welcome along, and thank you for your 1, 2, 3. Headed by Tenebrism, Discoveries. Lots of love for this forecast then. Perhaps Marc will be working on that forecast, because you can do that, of course, on the exchange. And Juncture as well. And I suppose it's at this time, Steve, that we ought to remind you that yesterday, Marc Hryhorskyj didn't only bang in a 33 to 1 winner at Newmarket, he also put up a horse to follow for 2022. It was Juncture, which I'm assuming, Mark, is the trade.
Yeah, she shortened up in the betting from yesterday. She's 16 to 1. She's around the 11 to 1 mark on the Betfair Sportsbook. She's 15.5 on the Betfair Exchange right now, but we're getting an additional place on the Sportsbook, so that's going to be the bet here. I'm pretty sweet in her chances. I'm really sweet in her chances. I think she's a bigger price on the Sportsbook during the week, 25 to 1, so heavily supported. Very impressive at Dundalk on a reappearance run as a 3-year-old, 2-year-old turf form solid. I'm expecting a big run here. So James, if you could do the honours and put this on for me, Juncture, we'll back her each way. And what we'll do is we'll take advantage of the four place market here. Instead of 3, we'll have 25 each way at 11 to 1 to round off today.
Nice. Sportsbook action as well.
Sportsbook, yeah. Let me switch over.
You're coping manfully with this, G-Rod.
I'm doing better than Robbie did, didn't I?
Not a high bar.
You're understudy.
25 each way, is it, on Juncture at 11s?
Yeah, 25 each way at
places.
11. We'll take advantage of the extra place on offer on the Betfair Sportsbook.
Sure. That's on.
Thanks,
Okay,
Jake.
lovely. Juncture it is, who Steve Madge had coming down for the bronze medal position. Pretty solid, that. Let's get some more. There's Mark's tip then, if you want to get involved, around about 14 to 1. We'll talk about Juncture in a minute. The panel have got an idea about this. PD comes on and says Tuesday, Malavath, and Juncture as well. The bronze medal once again for PD. I like Tuesday. I've got her on top. Somewhat tentatively, but I'm not convinced about the 2-year-olds from last year.
She only won her maiden 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Aidan was quoted as saying didn't think she'd be good enough at this time, but she's blossomed in recent weeks, and she's short. The money's pretty strong. A bit like Point Lonsdale, was a lot of late money for him yesterday. Him and Luxembourg, there wasn't a great deal between them.
If anything, Point Lonsdale looked the sort of sexy one in the market, didn't it?
So yeah, that's interesting.
This is Mother Earth. What was the ill-fated author? Santa Barbara, of course, bless her. And of course, Frankie Tory on Tuesday. So this is Mother Earth. Mark 2. Aidan O'Brien won 6 of the last 10. I'm hoping it will be the 7th with Tuesday. Last favourite to win the Guineas.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I don't know.
That's where you can see all the preparation that goes into racing.
Favourite to win the Guineas. I've cheated because I didn't know mine.
Last fav, in fact, the only fav to win. There is a link with Tuesday to give you a tip out there. This is
What's
where
the
you
link?
can like phone a friend, isn't it? The link is she's related to the last winning favourite.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, minding.
It is minding.
Well, James looked it up for us.
There you are. The
But,
11 to 10 shot. My point being that favs have got a pretty rotten record in the last 10
Homecoming
years.
Queen and Billiston Brook.
If it wasn't for Bilston Brook, Aidan would be absolutely mopping up here. Malavath. So look, I've gone for this. Spotlight agrees. And Naps. Who is the nappy? Let's have a look. Who's done it? Who's the nappy? That's an interesting question there. Okay. Oh, Steve Boo. Steve Boo, who, and as we always say on this show, you know, the idea is in that department, they go for the big race, they nap it. And Tuesday will do for him as well. In stall 4, how much are we thinking about the draw after yesterday's race?
We're not.
If they keep going centre again and they don't play...
Nothing in it?
No. Not worried.
I thought it was fair.
Yeah.
They don't want to know the stand side, do they?
Which is good. Because it's horrible racing when they come across so many
Well,
hard luck stories.
I'm not debating that, but I think
in the
it's
past they
interesting,
have,
isn't it? Yeah. They really have, and people were worried about Native Trail yesterday because of stall 15, weren't they? And of course, some judges I know said, I'd like to have seen him with a bit more cover.
Possibly, but then I think if him and Carabas had been on the same side, Doyle could have tracked Native Trail and known exactly when to kick. Because you could argue he actually kicked a little bit soon on Carabas anyway, because he didn't know when Native Trail was going to come from the other side of the track. So
Yeah, there was a previous race where stall 1 beat stall 2, and of course Caribas was in stall 1, wasn't he? Only also
Buick
previously
won on
done that in the
Cadem
last
stall
10 years
one,
with
didn't he?
Galileo Gold, and they did come stand side.
Yeah,
My
no,
point being, Tenebrism's in 5. Malavath. Let's have a word about Malavath then, while we're on it. Soupy Sumi. Perfect power, no good yesterday, but just touched off on at a French radio in the Dahlia. Has got this horse, who beat, of course, Zelly, who is the Bousat winner. All the right fillies, bar Inspiral, are here, aren't they? John Gosden's fillies, and probably Mise on Scene, of course, poor James Ferguson, who I didn't see why the excuse of Mise on Scene. Have you seen that, by the way?
temperature, I think.
Oh, was it? So she picked up a temperature. It shows you how it can go. James Ferguson was extremely excited about running it, and Tom Siegel, of course, had put it up in the price-wise. Malavath. Any love for Malavath?
If you're backing her, it's the French angle, isn't it?
She
was very impressive as well, wasn't she?
Go on, Marc.
Behind Andrew Barbazielli. She's very impressive. Won very, very comfortable under Christoph Simeon. Well found in the market. Currently 7.2 second favourite. Just in front of Tuesday at 7.4. Tenebrism hasn't moved 4.1. But yeah, she's well found in the market.
She's
Malayev, Simeon.
Got all the experience under the belt.
In the Imprudence, of course, the Pre-Imprudence, which has thrown up many classic winners in the past. Zelly, of course, won the Boussac. Ground for her. Of course, Andre Fabre's last winner in the last 10 years. Miss France won this.
Wasn't she in a trial?
Yeah, probably wouldn't
It's
have
Andre,
been,
though, isn't it?
Yeah, wouldn't have been anywhere
Who
near
everyone calls the
French maestro.
Master. I mean, he is, I think, with Sir Michael Stout, if you're looking at masters of the past,
He wasn't
it's
very
always
positive to your
Andre.
reporter, though.
Everyone goes, the French master, wasn't he?
She's okay.
Yeah, he's been a little bit
okay.
down on some of his horses. It was probably Scotty Burton that got that comment, wasn't it, I'd imagine?
Probably. Maybe there was a lost in translation.
Easily done, but great name for a horse. Okay, Mark Smith, Discoveries on top. Lots of love there. Now, this is interesting. Here we go. And I've got a feeling I'm going to bring in G-Rod and James for this. You told me on the way into the office you thought Wild Beauty was maybe overlooked somewhat.
I thought she was solid. We just saw a filly with Godolphins absolutely bolt up in the Pretty Polly, and she did absolutely nothing wrong in the Fred Darling. I thought she's a solid Group 2, Group 3 filly, but that might be enough for a bit of each-way money today, because it's, for me, there's not a lot of strength and depth to this one.
She'd definitely improve for the trip, definitely. She looks like a stayer, don't she?
Yeah, that was the worry, wasn't it, in the Fred Darling, that she'd get outpaced as she hit the line strong.
I think she'd get outpaced again.
But stay on at the
Having said that, there's been a few Godolphin fillies that you thought might do that, and then they did win this race.
She's going to need to prove at least 5 or 6 pounds, the Godolphin horse. But again, they've just taken the Pretty Polly. It's Charlie and Will. And Sondrine, who, of course, was a proper hot 2-year-old, wasn't it? There's a big stat in this that you've got to have won or finished second over 7 furlongs as a juvenile. Tuesday hasn't done it. Tenebrism hasn't done it. Sondrine certainly hasn't done it. And I wonder if she is the LaSalle stroke perfect power of the fillies race, you know, the one that we're not sure if she's going to stay or not.
Yeah, well, we don't know, and they didn't actually try in a trial, which is slightly surprising.
Yes, Balding, no trial.
You'd want to find out before going there.
On 2-year-old form, she's a right price, isn't she?
She's a player.
Yeah, she's a player. Of course, third behind Tenebrism in the Cheveley Park. When was the last Cheveley Park winner to win a Guineas? That's a question. I don't know that. I'm asking the question.
Sasha Ribham did do it, but it was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Oh, man. Did she win the Cheveley Park, did she?
She might have done. Could be wrong.
You're looking down the list. There's a
Park,
Mother Earth, of course. That was Philly's Mile, wasn't it? A remarkable story. Love, Hermosa, Bilston Brook, Winter, sort of more grinders, aren't they, really, than quickness?
They're all more of the Oaks candidates, aren't they? They're winning this and stepping up in trip rather than the true sprinters.
Sky Lantern, of course, Homecoming Queen, probably the quickest of Aidens, I would imagine, not, staying over the mile division. A lot of these horses do step up that Aiden runs in this. OK, that was another top threes. Keep them coming in. Perhaps we'll get the panel's top 3 now, shall we? We know that Marc is all over Juncture, but what would get the silver and the bronze medal for Mr. Hryhorskyj?
Yeah, we'll go for it. We'll do this in reverse TriCast form, OK? We'll go for Juncture, Cachet, and we'll chuck in Tuesday for the TriCast.
Cachet.
Yep.
Interesting.
She ran a cracker, didn't she, in the trial?
And she holds a couple of these.
She ran a good race last time, yeah.
Again, I don't know. She's had a lot of racing, hasn't she? She's got form with Sondrine. She's got form with Inspiral, of course.
She's the now horse in this race. This is often won by the now horse, the horse who is ready for this race. Cachet is ready for this.
Have you got her in your top 3?
Oh, yeah, but I've got a second, yeah.
Let's hear it then.
I think
We've heard Marc's.
really well, yeah. I've gone for Tenebrism, the favourite, who I think is just going to prove different gravy to this lot.
Wow.
I just think that I've got a well clear on 2-year-old form. That run last
Have you
year,
done a tissue for this?
I have done. Let me dig it. I'll dig it out for you.
That's what everyone wants to hear.
Tenebrism, I've got Cachet in second. She's done really well over the winter, Cachet, and she was very good in the Nelgwyn. Like that form, I think is underrated.
She's a length behind the French filly Malayev at Del Mar.
That's right.
They ran out there. She's a 20 to 1 chance.
That's right. It'd be a different race to Del Mar as well, won't it? And probably might suit her better. She goes well at this track, Cachet. We know that.
Remind me the horse that George Bowie filled a classic placing with in the Oaks,
Angel.
Mystery Angel. So he can, he's already got a classic second to his name.
Yeah, I'm going to put Tuesday in for third, running quite a nice trial.
A lot of love for Tuesday, isn't there?
For races for the future. But yeah, I'm hoping, and I think Tenebrism will outclass them, and I'm hoping that Cachet will chase her own for the place money.
James Millman, 1, 2, 3 in the 1,000 guineas, please.
So I didn't think last year's 2-year-olds are very good in the fillies department. So Tenebrism, we only saw her twice right at the start of the
But
season.
you're putting one on top.
Bolted up in the Jubilee Park. So she's my number one, but I'm going to go for lightly raced, unexposed ones for the place market. And Amena, I think, can finish runner-up for Roger Varian. Only seen her twice. She won her maiden at the Craven meeting just 18 days ago. So a big step up, but she handled a dip really nicely. Both her runs have come at the track. And I just thought she could be one that could run well at a price, a little bit like the horse who came fourth yesterday. And third, going back to the 2-year-olds, who's just solid as Wild Beauty, Charlie Appleby and William Buick. So I've got Tenebrism for me. I think she's as long as she stays a trip, which that is the question mark, being by Caravaggio and having won over 5 in March. So she was clearly pretty sharp. But
Tenebrism to beat Amena and Wild Beauty.
Yeah, that's the 1, 2, 3 for me. So that's the Natalie Green trifecta. See if that one comes up.
Let's see if we get the exotic queen, Natalie Green. Absolutely. She's the only one that's pulled these off so far. I don't imagine if any of us will ever get such heights, I don't imagine. But I've got Tuesday on top. This is Dave Orton. 1, 2, 3 coming up for the 2022 1,000 guineas. Get your notebooks out and your fingers on the exchange buzzers. Followed home by Amena. I've also got her in second place. I heard Rog being interviewed in the week, and he had that twinkle in his eye. And she's a bit like, who were we talking about? Richard Hill's last classic winner was Gayeth, wasn't it? Was it Gayeth?
Gayeth.
No, not Gayeth. That's what was it called?
They won at Kempton, and we discussed
Gayeth,
this
of course.
in the office.
That's totally wrong. It was something like that, wasn't it? It was Shadwell colours, and it had come off a Kempton win.
For Barry Hills.
Ganati?
Ganati, yeah, that's more like it. It might not be quite right.
Still in there somewhere.
Last one, but yeah.
I think she reminds me a bit of Ganati. This. Yeah. I like the way she won. The money was down for it. She didn't quite look there in her coat. I seem to remember from Paddock Watchers as well at Newmarket. He was quietly confident from stall 12. I think on the near side she will do. And then third place, I think that Discoveries will be one for your top 3 basically. So I've got Tuesday to beat her old rival Discoveries, who of course beat her in that maiden when they met. Tuesday I think is now the improver physically.
Yeah, Ganati 09.
Ganati 09, who had kind of ripped up the rule book for previous winners in that she hadn't, you usually got to run 3 times as a juvenile. You've usually got to have won over 7 furlongs, no further. It's a really strong trends race. In fact, should I give them to you? Ran at least, these are the last 10 winners. Ran at least 3 times as a juvenile. Sire raced in Europe, all right, we get that one, that's 10 out of 10. Top 2 finish in a listed or a group race, not good for Tuesday, 10 out of the last 10. Won over at least 7 furlongs at 2, as a 2-year-old, 9 of the last 10. And achieved a juvenile rating, RPR rating of at least 98, 9 of the last 10. Winning for the first time over a mile, 9 out of 10. And unadjusted. It's just a hugely strong trends race. A lot of times when the excellent Kevin Morney shows you his column, you have 6 out of 10 and all that sort of stuff. This is 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s as well. So I'm hoping for a Ganati basic with Tuesday.
I don't know. I'm not a trends man, am I?
No, but I'm just saying this is a strong trends race. It doesn't matter whether you are or you aren't.
Well.
It's factually a strong trends race for the excellent... Have you been ghostwriting his column as well, by the way? Like Robbie revealed yesterday. Ghost columning. We call it.
Yeah, well, Kev's actually on holiday at the moment.
He is.
Yeah, so he still supplies the material. Supplies the material, but I've been ghosting it for him. But I didn't actually do it yesterday because I was allowed a day off yesterday.
Again, so you've got a holiday next week.
Yeah, not next week. Yeah, a few weeks yet.
He comes on here, throws a grenade, and then goes off for a couple of weeks.
I'm shorting up here, Dave. And if she's in a 3.8 on the Betfair Exchange, 850 matched in the market right now.
The lads are getting on. The lads.
Bobby Kimber, great to have you back, Bobby. Says Tuesday on top. Oh, I'm nearly with you. Discoveries and the Boussac winner for the Master, Andre Farb and Tom Marquand. Tom the Pom getting the ride on Zelly as well.
Yeah, it's a good ride for him to pick up, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, look, he's top 10 riders in the world, isn't he? Without question.
He's good.
The 2 French riders are quite strong in the market. They're not really moving. Zaïl, for Andre Farb, Tom Marquand, they've not really moved. Seems like a lot of people fancy that French form here. Malev second in at 6-1.
Thank you. Frizzy Red, look, there you go. Agreeing with Marc Hryhorskyj. Juncture on top of Tenebrism, and also Graeme Rodway has Cachet in the top 3 as well. Juncture.
We're just worried about the Joe
Why don't we
Lyons
like
record.
Juncture? Did you run the query?
Well, James did it, I
There's
think.
about 8 winners over in the UK, but in the last 10 years, just 2.
And Sacred Bridge was the one, wasn't it?
That 4 from 4 came over. No good in the Chili Park. There's been quite a few. Shishkin hasn't been as good coming across as what he was over in Ireland, I don't think.
Oh, it wasn't Shishkin.
Not Shishkin.
Siskin.
Siskin, yeah, they have been really disappointing. I know we spoke about this at the start of the show.
Painful memories for
coming
me.
over, but hopefully this can break the trends and she can bring home the money for the charity.
Yeah, the grey filly, of course, we'll be looking out for her in the Judd Monty colours as well. So that's pretty much it. Let's mention some others then that we haven't done so far. I think we've got pretty much top of the market covered. I thought Prosperous Voyage would run well. I was considering she was it second in the Fillies Mile? She was
second twice to Inspire in the Mayhill at
I
Doncaster
half
as
wondered
well.
when I looked at this whether John Gosden was going to look on and go, oh, if only I'd have got Inspiral there. Because I think she's a little bit like the Kevin Ryan winner we saw at Hamilton. She's just never there. She's always there or thereabouts. Rafe Beckett says we're in a good place, looking forward to riding her from stall 9 under Rob Hornby. I think she'll go well for a long way if you wanted to get involved on an outsider. Hello You for Dave Loughnane. Go Bears Go in the week.
They seemed quite positive post-race that she beat Cachet, and I have to admit I didn't really see it. To be honest, she gave her £3, but she was beat 4.5 lengths.
I'd be confident of beating the winner again, says Russell Ryan. I thought we had her all the way to the furlong pole, then I got tired. That's I guess why you're running the
James
trial.
Doyle on Cachet as well. Could be a famous double.
Oh, this like it, Mark. I like it. You should have gone for a drum roll pause before that. You're
Yeah,
forever
I think Buick was planning to ride Cachet, and then Wild Beauty won her trial.
Interesting.
Inspiral came out, so then James Doyle. Who's
There's another link there as well, isn't there? Because
from before.
great article, of course, from James yesterday, and some good chat, wasn't there, to Lydia, of course, on RTV, and about him saying, a bit frustrated, and William and me, great friends, but rivals at the same time, and I see him riding all these great horses, he said, didn't he? And obviously, Adayar in the Derby
Well,
for
that was
James.
the killer.
Adam
The third
Kirby
string
getting on.
goes on and wins the Derby.
And from stall 1, it must have just gone up, but James he's a very level-headed man.
There's nothing wrong with
very
that,
good
though, is
rider.
there? I think, a little bit of healthy competition between teammates. I think that's fine.
And it reminded us of Kingman, of course, when he got that beat in the race. I say
Night
he
of
got
Thunder.
that beat. Night of Thunder, who was nowhere near a 40-1 shot. Really good sire as well, isn't he, Night of Thunder? But
Cracking size.
yeah, you love a Night of Thunder, don't you?
I'd love to be able to buy one. A bit expensive.
No one's given you one yet?
No.
I was actually offered a share in one quite recently, a Night of
A
Thunder.
Night of Thunder.
Yeah.
Could send it to Millman
I think
to
it's
try.
already somewhere there. Oh, a main man on our screens.
Barry's
A great
seen walking
Barry
through
Orr,
the
just
paddock there. I'll
seen,
tell you what, some
observing
of my
the Guineas
friends at
field.
Newmarket today have sent me pictures of Barry having selfies with them.
The master of Betfair
They
House.
really have. Remarkable.
There he is,
Yeah.
in
remarkable.
the flesh.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Hang on a sec. Okay. We're getting back.
Again.
Flash Betty. We've got to mention the outsider of the lot. Flash Betty, and she's a whopping outsider for Mick Shannon. Never won this race, is he, Mick Shannon? He came very close with Queen's Logic when I first got into racing. Everyone was like, "This is the next coming," and it's all Mick and Sylvester. Flash Betty. She ran in the Fred Darling, didn't she? She was 5th, I think, behind
With a
Cachet,
horse that got beaten a cellar 3 times. 4 times. Winner 1,000 guineas.
7 lengths behind Cachet, Newmarket.
Led that day, so
Wednesdays.
maybe a pace angle on the far side. Flash Betty, that is the field for the 340. We're 10 minutes away from the 1,000 guineas here on Racing Post Live. I was trying to find some of the pictures I've been sent to Barry on the track.
Tuesday's very strong in the market here, Dave. In at 6.2 from 7.4 for Frankie Dettori and Aidan O'Brien. Tenebra's on also 3.95. Solid. Looks like all the backers are queuing up to get on both of Aidan's here.
Right, okay. Well, look, the last 10 years, if you'd done that, you'd be loving this race. So this is, unlike the Colts, we're not sure about how this is going to... We thought it was a cracking 2,000 guineas. All the right horses are here, though, aren't they? Bar in Spiral.
Yeah, there's none.
Can't think of any
missing.
others.
It's just none particularly inspired me for this campaign going forward. I hope we get one emerge by far ahead of the rest.
Which one are you worried about that you've not put in your top 3? It'd be Malavath for me.
Yeah, the French horses.
So perhaps we ought to have a little
Tuesday,
save
for
up.
me would be the one that I'd be more worried about.
You've not put Tuesday
I've
in?
not put Tuesday in.
Maggie.
She's the one that Frankie, strong in the market in the last 48 hours, that would be my danger, because I hadn't really put her in my calculations, to be honest, at the start.
Can we talk about Tenebrism's pedigree? Mm-hmm. Half sister to winners. There are milers there. The Dam was a mile winner, of course, Immortal Verse. Coronation Stakes winner in the mud under Gerard Mosse. 2 from 2 so far, but is it Caravaggio? who we were talking about, weren't we, before we came in, James? And I said, you've probably done the pedigree analysis on this. He's been a slight slow starter, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's not had too many 100-plus horses from that first crop. He's got 4 on the RPRs, 106, 109, 111, 116, and she's by far the best, Tenebrism, because the other one is Agatha, who's been placed behind a few of these a few times, and she's seen out the mile quite nicely, but she is by a Dylan Thomas mare, so there's a little bit more stamina.
Agatha, who ran behind, of course, Discoveries, and has been beaten since reappearing.
Comfortably.
By Concert Hall of Aidan O'Brien's, who would probably be some way off, you imagine, Tuesday and Tenebrism. So, yeah, look, it's just a great unknown, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And
which we don't like so much. We
only saw it twice. So it's very hard to look at the races and say...
They were tempted by the Breeders' Cup, weren't they? And they thought, no, let's save it.
End on a good note. And I don't think she was fancy. Was she 14 to 1? Yeah, 14s when she won the Chile Park. Obviously, Flotus didn't exactly give it a boost yesterday at Newmarket.
Worried too much about Flotus.
No, she just beat so bad and she got upset in the stalls. But that kind of summed up for me that strength and depth of those fillies last year. There just wasn't much there. And there may be one like Tuesday suddenly just burst onto the scene, because she only got beat short-head by Discoveries on her debut, and then she went missing after that.
As the last 10 years, the roll call will tell you that there can be an upset, because we just don't know which ones of, they can mature that much, can't they, and get on that roll. And
with Tuesday, O'Brien has a better record with horses that are making their seasonal reappearance in this race. I mean, he has had horses who had a run.
Yeah.
I think there were 2, Homecoming Queen and one other, but he's had quite a lot more runners from memory, and most of his winners, he's got a better record anyway, he's better strike rate.
Well, you are right.
Up.
What, for once in your life,
Thank you.
You've absolutely nailed that. Did you do the preview for this?
No, I wrote a piece about it a week and a half ago, which
because you have got it right. You have got it right. Obviously, I didn't read. His last 3 winners have been reappearing.
Yeah.
And it was only Winter, actually, in Homecoming Queen. Oh, and, I've tempted...
Don't go any further.
No, don't go any further. I was...
But he's got a great record, a great recent record.
I was tempted to say Legatissimo was his as well, but it was, of course, David Watchman's, wasn't it? Yeah. All right. So, but unlike the Guineas on the Saturday, 8 of the last 10, Barry, as we can see now in the paddock as well on our screens as well. Oh, the great man over there, absolutely loving life, isn't he? This is one where you can, trial winners tend to come to the vault. But it would suggest, wouldn't it, looking at the roll call, that they tend to go for the being the market, and the layers, they tend to go for the 2-year-old form. It doesn't work out.
Yeah, often. It can be a funny race, but it can be a straightforward race as well.
Which one would you be laying away from Tenebrism? Which is the one that you're like, I'm not... The Manavat is the one that I'm slightly worried about, that I haven't put in my top 3. Zelly, it's a big price now, I just can't have her whatsoever. Wild Beauty, I'll be very surprised if she won as well. That's personally.
I don't think Wild Beauty can win. I could see her running well, but not winning.
Unlike.
Yeah, I don't see her winning, but I see her getting placed.
Yeah, well, the place I can sort of see, but not a lot of love for Juncture as they drift out. But I am seeing money for Tuesday, Marc. Is that right?
Yeah, Tuesday's shorting up 6.2, roughly into around 5 to 1. Tenebrism did go out to 3 to 1, but back into 3.85, 11 to 4. Malev again solid at 6 to 1 at the top of the market. Juncture, she's weak at the moment. She was around 16. She's out to 19s. Kashi, a little bit of money for that one at 20 to 1. Well Beauty solid at 12.5. You fancy Well Beauty in the 4-place market. That one's 2.8. It was around 2 to 1, so there has been support. The backers are on that one in the 4-place market. But yeah, there's 1.1 million in the market. We've got another 5 minutes, so pretty confident we'll hit the 2 million barrier here. But Tenebrism definitely going off favourite here. The backers keen on both of Aidan O'Brien's. Tuesday strong as well, 6.2, 6.4.
Good to see that, absolutely. So a hot betting race. What's the liquidity up to, Marc?
1.1, nearly 1.2. So we've got another 5 minutes. Probably get up to around 2 million. Most of the market, the money comes just before the off. But a very, very strong market here.
O'Brien has so much ammunition, says Andy Sim, one of our regulars I can see out there in social land as well. I did ask you for a horse to follow. We go off air just after the
I hope we're going to get one from the master of the paddock stables.
None of ours. They're running awful at the moment.
Oh, come on,
Clarendon
you've got to give us one of yours. Come
yes, we ought to put you on the spot for this. A Millman horse to follow.
You want a Millman horse to follow?
One from the paddock stables.
A Millman handicap job, please.
We haven't got any, unfortunately. They're all...
we don't believe that. No
the
one
market always goes for your horses.
We don't believe that.
Non-Millman is Clarendon House. I thought he ran an eye catcher behind Russell at Goodwood on Friday.
The sprinter of Robert Cowles and Midland Park.
Yeah, that one well. As for a Millman horse, we ain't got any at the moment. We are struggling. So
The classic sleight of hand.
No,
we're
not having any winners at the minute at all. There isn't
Good year last year,
There's
though,
nothing in the yard that I'd follow, to be honest.
No, Dad's
I'll
not
tell you, if
listening
you
to
have a winner this year,
yeah,
we're
we will
going
be
to be
calling
on
that
to you. We're
right
going to be
out.
like, you said you got
This is
nothing.
James Millman, the assistant trainer to
a
Dad Rod.
great season. It's going to be a bad year, unfortunately. We've not got...
He had a good year last year, and
Yeah,
I
you
said,
did. You had
I
some
said
good
to you,
winners.
You get a good year, they're all badly handicapped.
I said they were good. It's a good year, and you went, yeah, it did all right.
Yeah, but they won, and now they're all in the handicap, so we have to wait a while.
Nothing for Chester this week,
No entries for Chester.
just because you can't
Jacob
stand
Bronte has
it.
come back to us.
Oh yeah, because they tried jumping, didn't they?
So
He's highly rated, isn't he?
99, but he'd probably go to Newton Abbot if there's a little bit of rain on Wednesday. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'm afraid I'd avoid.
Will he
go
win?
elsewhere. He's in a novice hurdle. So
He travelled really well,
If he can't win a novice hurdle with a 99 horse at Newton Abbot, you should be coming trying for this seat rather than assistant
He's been
training.
off for 4 years. He's got bad legs, so it's.
Excuses coming in
What happened to Aintree?
already.
Because he travelled beautifully, and at one point I thought he was going to go and win, and then he
hit a hurdle, and that was
That was
that.
it.
Whether he didn't
Alright.
stay the 3 mile, that's the question mark.
So,
there.
but Clarendon House is your horse to follow for
I thought
2022.
he ran a cracker behind.
He's a very
Russell,
quick horse,
the
isn't he? Yeah, a good
one
one.
way clear
Yeah.
the rest. So that would be my horse to follow. for the year.
Interesting. I put up Scope yesterday for the Gold Cup division. I love Trushan, but I think there is scope for lots of those
that's the
to
Beckett
get
horse.
near him. Yeah, it's the Beckett horse who won a Group
Yeah.
1 in France. And
Frankie's horse running up here, Dave. Sorry, he's in at 5.7 around the 9-2 mark.
Tuesday.
Perhaps like queuing up to get on this one
Just like
Tuesday.
point ones though yesterday.
thanks,
money
Mark. Yeah, right.
comes
So
to-
late money coming for Tuesday then. He's got the top 2 in the market. He's won the
A little
6
bit of
and
money
last
for
10.
Juncture as well, into 14s, 14.5, went out to 20s. That one's came back in.
Yeah, I thought that was
It's
going to be
around
a
11s.
nasty slider, but it is coming back. Yeah, that's okay. Thanks, Mark's got an eye on this exchange market for us. Welcome along. If you're just joining, you can see some new numbers coming up on the screen. Myself, Dave Orton, James Millman, Graeme Rodway, and Marc Hryhorskyj from Betfair. What a 2 days we have had. We'll be back, of course, next Saturday. Every Saturday, God willing, in 2022. All the big festivals as well. We're talking about Royal Ascot. We're talking about Derby weekend. Horse to follow, please, now, before we get this big call for the second classic of the weekend from Graeme Rodway. 2022, go.
I think maybe quick form. He was second the other day, wasn't he, in the race
Sagara.
at
I'm
Ascot,
disappointed by that.
on ground that was too
There's
quick.
a 90 rated stayer that you thought was progressing quite
Yeah, well,
nicely.
I've forgotten.
You've
his
still
name.
forgotten him again.
Yeah, I was going to give you a 90 rated stayer that I gave you a 90 rating to, but I can't remember. I promise you, next time I come on the show, I'll tell
You've
you
had
what it
hours
was.
for this.
I will.
Hours.
So I'm going to go for quick form. He was second to what's the Trushan horse,
Princess Zoe. Oh.
and then second to Princess Zoe. But he wants softer ground. I think he'll win a Group 1 on soft this year.
Sod's
You
law
think he'll beat
that the
Trushan on
rain
soft
arrives
ground?
before
Yeah,
Ascot,
he
isn't
might.
it?
Yeah, well, you give him a race. Trushan's good. I like Trushan, but
That's the trouble.
give him a race.
Soft ground is Trushan's favourite conditions, but staying division's interesting this year, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is, because I think there is a bit of room for manoeuvre there.
I
Anyway,
don't know. Trushan is very good.
you've got to be
He sets a
careful with
high
knocking
standard.
Trushan. He's the public horse, isn't he?
Yeah,
Holly
yeah.
Doyle, Alan Key. He's
For
a
horse-
lovely
For
animal.
a horse who pulls as well as hard as he does. Yeah,
He made his return
he's an
last year at
amazing
Chester,
horse.
didn't he? Coming out this week, of course, behind Japan. Whatever happened to him?
And to be fair, we gave him a bit of stick last year for not running during the middle of summer. They did give him plenty of outings in the.
Oh, they
in
tried.
the
They
winter.
tried to run him.
Well, yeah.
Where they could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gave him.
Wilder's mentioned that yesterday. He goes, I was gutted that they pulled him out. Do you remember Holly Doyle's face as
Yeah.
she was walking back in? The cameras got on her, didn't they?
Yeah, we gave
Thunder.
Uncle John a bit of stick for pulling Stradivarius out at Goodwood as well when it was testing ground, because
Yeah.
we all know Stradivarius handles testing
Handled it
ground.
fine. Stradivarius as well. What a beautiful animal he is. All right, great stuff. There's your horses to follow. Reminder that I put up Scope as well. A reminder on top of the tips. Juncture for Marc Hryhorskyj as Sandrine, the first one to enter the stalls for the 340 final race of the day on this Sunday service. Racing Post Live with Betfair on the way. I've got Tuesday on top. Mr. Millman,
Tenebrism.
Mr. Rodway,
Tenebrism.
Marc Hryhorskyj. The powers that be have spoken. She's going to go, what, 3-1?
Yeah, Tenebrism 4.1. She went as short as 3.85, went out to 4.2, but she's 4.1 now. Tuesday's probably been the market mover. That one was around 6-1 and 9-2. 1.5 million in the market here. So a lot of market confidence behind Frankie Dettori. Well, Beauties came in for a little bit of support just there, 13.5 into 11s. And obviously my selection, Juncture, 16.5. She's 25 for the Coronation Stakes. So she runs a big race here. She'll probably shorten up the Coronation Stakes, Juncture.
Yeah, you would imagine so, wouldn't you? All right, we've got all that to come, of course. Thanks, Mark. And looking on the, some people going for Wild Beauty, Juncture and Discoveries. James, your horse to follow was Clarendon House.
Clarendon House,
the sprinter for Frizzy Red out there, I can see. O'Brien has so much ammunition, says Andy Sim, and we are expecting one of his two to take it out. Good luck wherever you're playing then. Let's get excited. It's classic time here on Racing Post Live. Who's going to be the best filly, the star going forward? Away we do go. A little bit slow out, Roger Varian's Aminar. On the near side, Wild Beauty from stall 14. Will Buick doing his own thing. Cachet leads out the middle. Discovery's there. If you're leading the outsider in S2S, I imagine you're going quite quick, Flash Betty. But no, Cachet, catch me if you can, she says. Malavas settled very nicely as well. Looking for some of the big players. Sondrine being held up for the run. Tuesday's up there. Where's Tenebrism, guys?
She's at the back. She's pulling a bit.
Hello, you. It's very
4.2. She's not moved in the mark. Tuesday's 4-1 in the run. Wild Beauty 11s. Discovery 10.5. Prosperous Vogue 23s. That's half the price on the BSB. Going very well.
Yeah, thought she might go well. The filly's miles second. All right, then they're just letting them a little bit of a breather at the moment. As Sondrine closes up, Zelly's there as well. Wild Beauty not looking too happy. Aminar catching my eye. Juncture right out the back, last to third. But Cachet, catch me if you can. Discovery's now goes. Look at Hello You going really well. Sondrine coming. Malavath getting caught out by the ground. Can't see Tenebrism in a minute. Frankie Dettori a bit precious on Tuesday on the far side. We're going to need a collapse. Looks like it could be near side, doesn't it? Wild Beauty. Look at Sondrine going forward. Sensing a first classic. Discovery's in the middle. This is a right slow motion finish. This Tenebrism not liking it whatsoever. Cachet on the far side. George Barry's had second in the Oaks. Can he possibly do it? Look at this Prosperous Voyage. This is in spiral form. Cachet at the moment. Catch me if you can. This will be a huge story. James Barry, the star man. Look, he's going to do it. Maydall in the Guineas. Prosperous Voyage lunges too late in the day. Tuesday only third. Wow. Near side, far side. Absolute scenes here in the studio. Marc Hryhorskyj. When did they know she'd hang on?
She shortened up as soon as they came out of stalls. Great ride from James Doyle there. Strange How the World Works. Famous Guineas double for James Doyle there. She nearly halved in price after 2 furlongs there. Done it well. She was backed in from 25.86. BSP 19.9. Prosperous Voyage travelled really, really well for Ralph Beckett. That one's went as low. I thought this one probably went a bit lower, 6.2. But never really looked like getting there. Fantastic ride by Cachet. I think Juncture, my selection as well. I think the distress signals were out at the 2 pole. And obviously we did talk about Gerline sending them over. That's another one on that list. Willing to give her another chance. Tenebrism, that one's went as short as 2.9 and running for £41. Never looked like winning for me, that one. And Tuesday, Frankie Dettori's, that one's went as short as around 3-1 for £238. But great for James Doyle and George Bofi there.
Wow.
Be absolutely buzzing. 19.9 BSP.
The Doyler. Thank you, Mark. Absolutely. It is a Maydall in the 1,000 guineas.
And
not often we say
seconds sat upsides in second place. So the pace has
wasn't
really
far off
held
either.
up, and those that were dropped out to anticipate a strong pace, they've really struggled to pick up. And fair play to George Bowie. It's what, 4th season now of a licence. And last year, teamed up with Nick Bradley, now got high clear. And I thought he had an absolutely spot on for the Nell Gwyn. And I wonder what improvement there'll be, but there's been plenty of improvement.
I saw this win at Windsor on soft ground over 6 furlongs. I remember it.
Well, early season 2-year-old is what she looked a little bit.
Yeah, she did. She absolutely did, yeah. No, of course, she was an early season 2-year-old, so the 2-year-old form's gone up. James Doyle is the story here, as long as George Bowie.
First British Classic yesterday. 24 hours later, gets a
Like
second
buses,
in the bag.
those just say.
He's got the fraction perfect, hasn't he? He's got them absolutely perfect.
Great ride.
But she has really dug deep. I mean, looking at Tuesday on the far side, gone right against the far side rail. I don't think Tenebrism looked happy whatsoever.
Obviously, she had an injury when she didn't see her for 6 months, and she's looked awkward in the closing stages. But unfortunately, the one horse we're not talking about, In Spiral, thrashed the first and second last year.
It's in spiral form,
every
I was
time
about
she
to
met
say.
them.
That's why I like Prosperous Village. The Chameleon says, very good run for Tuesday. The Oaks beckons. I think probably it looks about right, doesn't it?
Galileo.
She's a Galileo out of minding. Mark, have we got a
right.
sports book price already for Tuesday in the Oaks? Is that coming through?
Yeah, I'll just pull that up for you just now. Just bear with me.
She was
Yeah,
30.
interesting point with Inspiral there as well. What price would that one have been in this race?
Yeah.
How would you price that up next time, G-Rod, with your tissue
Yeah, well,
Catchy in the final.
100 to 1.
yeah.
Let's see that one.
You'd,
You know?
you'd fancy her. She's going to be short, isn't she?
Uncle John basically
for
will
the
be
coronation sake,
kicking
she's going to be very short.
the mythical cat, really, because-
I wonder what she's just working badly because there's been no injury. It's just he said I'm not happy,
not
with,
happy
her.
with her, not where
And
she
the
wants
worry,
to be.
the worry with that
Yeah.
is she just
Was
not
she just a
training on
two-year-old,
and being?
That's the one thing that Cachet has done, is trained on.
Sandrine ran well there, by the way,
superbly
for Andrew Bourning and Probert. One of the closers that tried to get involved, had to switch.
Those that were ridden to
Whether
stay.
she quite got home, I don't know, but good run.
The form has from 2-year-olds is kind of stacked up, and that's what
Wow.
Sheevely Park and John Gosden will be a little bit.
The day
Fine as
belongs
the
to
cornflakes
George
tomorrow.
Bowie and James Doyle. James Doyle, both Newmarket classics go to him. Absolutely fantastic. As has Marc Hryhorskyj been this weekend. Marc, great to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been good. We've made some profit for the charity of choice over the last 2 days. I think Masheer is probably the highlight. Definitely want to take moving forward. Definitely sure that one will be breaking their maiden very shortly. I mean, that form looks solid. But yeah, it's been good. And hopefully some people back some winners today as well.
I'm sure they did. Drone Pilot, thank you very much. We'll see Allaho instead of Mboyan on that picture next time we come back. G-Rod, great to have you in. Good fun.
Yeah, great day. Yeah, very happy. Superb result.
Good shout,
that last
Cachet.
one.
You said it would be in the top 3 and you were
Yeah.
screaming it like no one else was.
Yeah, well, I had 2 bets in the race, Tenebrism to win and Cachet each way, so that's a right result, that last one. But yeah, good afternoon, was it? Great racing.
Yeah, and at
It's
6
a great
o'clock-
time of year,
It
isn't
is.
it, Dave? I mean, we've got Derby coming up, Derby
Chester.
Trolls. Derby Trolls this week, Derby Trolls Saturday, Derby Trolls at York, then we're into the Derby. What a time to be alive.
Absolutely, quite right. Great time to be on planet Earth. So look forward to 6 p.m. Members Club. Check out all the comments from James Doyle again and George Bowie. Cannot wait for that. He's a right character. He's a friend of the post as well. As is James Millman. Great to have you back in. What does the week hold?
Yeah, no, it's been good. And the week ahead is local tracks, Bath, etc. with the runners. And I'm at Nottingham Saturday and Ludlow Sunday.
And you've given us a good thing at Newton Abbot, which is lovely.
Hopefully Duke of Bronte. Looking forward to him summer jumping.
There we go. Lovely stuff. I've been Dave Orton, Dave Lowe and Will Carey in the gallery. You've been out there as well. It's been a great weekend. Lovely. Join us next week. Same place, same time, here on RP Live.